Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner and I'm here with James Farley.
Hello. What's this about? This is not last summer wine. That's ridiculous.
And I'm also here with Matt Murray.
Hello.
And finally, I'm here with Sean Bell.
Hello. I don't know what's worse, last the summer wine or this, Sean.
I'm alright with it. At least I feel regionally represented.
Right, we will start the show like we always start the show and thank our full Nels crew. The Patreon producers for this month are Aaron Patrick, Simon Nelson, Tom S, Jack Oven, Moomin Biscuit, Richard Sawyer, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gazman, Gabby Pereira, Mad Hans Gruber, and Graham McKay. He didn't mean to be a full Nels, but he is. There we go. Thank you to the full Nels crew. And thank you to everyone that supports us over on patreon.com/TCGS. If you can't go full Nels, why not? There's loads of other tiers
there. Have a doob.
Yeah, just,
you know the whole
and you'll end up a full Nels.
You know the whole like winners don't do drugs thing. I mean, we've got
Nels
proof.
Crew do.
Yeah, we've at least one winner does drugs. So, what are you going to do?
Speaking of winning, Sean, I've got a prize to give away on this week's show.
Oh my god!
And I'll get to that a little bit later. A little prize for everyone. Remind me during the socials, Matt, because I will forget. There's a prize to give away at the end of this show, so keep listening. But yes, if you would like a bonus show, a talks over, whatever you want. Well, not whatever you want. Whatever we say you can have on Patreon, you can sign up for that specific tier over at patreon.com/TCGS. Matt, you're back in the house.
I'm back.
You are.
I'm back for good.
Should we start with your feedback, shall we? Back for good. You're never going to miss another show.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I don't.
Claim.
I just feel very much back.
Yeah, you had a bad one last week, didn't you? You're in the midst of a game launch. How was that? Was it just
very
stress? Was it pure stress?
It was, very busy, very stressful. But the game is out. It's been a wild few months. Let me say
Don't mention the title on the show, please. Don't mention. We said we don't do advertising. Don't mention the title of the game, please.
I'm not going to mention Zombieland VR Headshot Fever.
Oh, come on, that's out of order. That is bad. That
just £15 or $19.99.
What is it like? Like, how often are you checking like forums and have you got Google Alerts set up?
Oh yeah, I've got them up. Yeah.
Oh God, that
Day
must
and
be
night.
just.
Oh yeah,
Every time it
this weekend was
pings, your
basically like
stomach
full on community manager, checking Reddit threads. Obviously, we get like emails through the website and then like tweets and stuff on the Discord.
Oh God, I know that there's questions. Look, I'm not going to put you in an awkward situation, but I'd love to know what those emails are like. Like, is there one that's just? I bet there's a few that are just like, what?
Are they
You know what I
they
mean?
more or less unhinged than our listeners?
Did you get any
A little
emails
bit
from
either
the
side, actually.
Tommy Toaster? Did you get it?
Yeah. Zero people with appliances in their names yet, but it's probably only a
What a
matter of
shame.
time.
Why even
What
bother?
a shame. Okay, well, let's move on. Let's get onto your feedback. Matt, last week's show, did you enjoy it?
I loved it, actually, although I think this is probably first. I haven't listened to all of it yet.
Oh, not committed, Sean. Not committed.
No damn, baby. I think I've got
He's had a few weeks
go.
off this year, and now he's not even bothering doing his homework. It's
No, I've got
absolutely
the last half an hour to
shocking.
go, but that still gave me enough time for feedback. What's this
What
idea
happened
about
last week?
me not using my PC for work? Like that is now my main work machine.
Was it? Okay,
So
no,
they
that's
bought
fine. I wasn't sure. My experience generally is people working from home have to use company kit. But no, if you're not, then that's fine.
No, I'm using my I'm pretty much full PC these days.
No, fair dues.
I have my work
lovely.
Mac, but if I go in the office, I use that. But at home, yeah,
Okay.
PC.
Hold on, you can't say I'm full PC these days. I mean, I've got a work Mac. That sounds like
No, but because I work
opposite
from
of
home
full
so long,
PC.
I'm basically it's just Windows now, isn't it? Just and I have my
Nice.
lovely keyboard, which is a total game changer. I'm proud to report.
It's low profile.
worth
it's so nice.
worth those hundreds of hours of
Worth
chasing
every
achievements.
minute. Worth every minute I spent
Okay.
playing random games.
Okay.
Like Island of
Paying.
Saver, the NatWest sponsored game where you collect litter and drop in some savings pots.
Okay, but you've turned it all around on you. The idea was that you were going to give us feedback on last week's show.
Yeah,
Did you have any?
So it was yes, I do use my computer, rather than people
good.
just then assuming, the keyboard's just some novelty thing for his desktop. No, I do use it.
Have you got any feedback that's entertaining for the listeners, or are you
I
just
think
going
last
to
week's
correct us?
episode
They
was
just could have done
clearing
your
your own name and then moving on.
Last week's episode was, I think, the most Sean episode in terms of what. Sorry, is this it or this is it? For a long time, like I couldn't pronounce half the games Sean was talking about. There's like a hex-based grid game. There's a roguelike card deck building game. There's a monster
Wasn't a
truck game.
roguelike one. It's just a card game. It's got an end.
I bet it was.
No, it's
Card
not.
game.
You just play it through, and it has got multiple endings.
Okay.
That's it.
Hex-based grid monster trucks.
It's a
got
roguelike
a
hard
point, though,
battle
Sean,
with,
right?
with crafting elements.
Yeah, it was like, wow.
There's no crafting,
Full
James.
Yeah, but isn't that like me? Like towards the end of the year, every year, it's what have you been playing, Dave? Call of Duty and the latest FIFA. So I'm going to try and struggle through this while you guys go to sleep. Like, you know what I mean? It's the equivalent, isn't it?
Yeah, but no, I liked it. It was nice to listen to when I finished.
Okay,
it.
cool. But what did the fans think, Matt? What were those fans thinking? And I'm going to call them fans still. Love it. Go on.
We had
They
an
love it,
awful lot
don't
of
they?
feedback. We'll get
Good.
through it. First of all, TCGS.corrections. On last week's show, James stated that the forthcoming Life is Strange Remastered Collection contains Life is Strange 2. This is incorrect. It only contains Life is Strange and Life is Strange Before the Storm.
I fucking
Rubbish,
knew it.
isn't it? Well, it's rubbish, though, isn't it?
That's one of about 40. What do you mean that's rubbish?
Well, it's rubbish, isn't it? You shouldn't call it a collection when it's only got 2 games in it. You want to do all
You
of them.
shouldn't announce on a podcast that it's definitely got
definitely got
Life is
number
Strange
two.
Well,
Season 2.
I assumed it would have because it would be daft not to.
So when I asked
What?
if it included Life is Strange 2, at no point did you think, I'm not sure, so I'd better check
No, he just says
before
definitely.
boldly answering the question.
Yeah, I just thought, no, it's definitely has because it would be stupid if it didn't.
Okay.
No, that's not how it works, James. You can't on a podcast go, yep, it's got it. You sure? Gonna say yes.
It is, David. It is how it works in my head. And
So
that's-
next time, I'll make a point of saying, as I ask this, consider if I am intentionally sowing the seeds of doubt. Is it?
Let me ask you this, James. Right?
Go on.
Do you remember when we did Star Calls and you said that the dice that Han Solo had in the Solo film was a completely new thing and never been seen before? And then you got months of tweets saying, no, it's in the original film.
That was bullshit, though. That was.
Why was that bullshit? Go
They
on.
were in the original film as like a thing that was like on the dashboard. It wasn't like a major plot point. You know, it wasn't something important.
No one said. No, whoa, that wasn't the question. That's not what you answered. So
You need to be
my point
vivid.
is this. My point is this, right? From that little experience there, do you not think, okay, next time I'm asked a question, make sure I know the answer before I just like give that answer. Make sure that I'm right. If there's a little bit of doubt in there,
I couldn't be bothered. There wasn't any doubt because I hadn't really paid attention the first time round.
there wasn't any doubt. How could there not be no doubt? You got the wrong answer, you dickhead.
Yeah, I know I got the right answer, but it was from a place of ignorance, not from a place of knowing actually what the reality
James,
was.
You delivered the news.
How's that not the same thing?
It's slightly different.
Is this episode called "Knowing What the Reality Is"? Is that what? Is that what this one's going to be called? Because I
Not
think
from
you
a
just
place of
named a
not knowing
podcast
the
in
thing.
record
It's from a
time.
place of not knowing the wrong thing.
All right, Sean, you've just twisted my melon, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Proper. Okay, all right. What's next, Matt?
Another Life is Strange related bit of feedback. John G. Hi, chaps. After hearing your discussion about how hard it is to get people to play Life is Strange, I can say I actually played episode 1 last week, in part due to listening to you guys waxing lyrical about it. I downloaded episode 1 months ago when I spotted it on the PS4 store, but I haven't got around to playing it. But I had to spare a couple of hours last week, so I thought, why not? I thought it was fantastic, with a great story, and definitely left me wanting more and eager to see how the story pans out. I've now purchased the rest of the episodes and plan to binge them all at the weekend. What I guess I'm trying to say in a long drawn out way is that if a game you've been putting off playing or something you thought probably isn't for you, is that you should definitely give it a go. I can't recommend it highly enough.
Yeah, and I mean, there will be people that email in saying, I gave Life is Strange a go. What the fuck are you guys talking about this is awful. Like, that's going to happen.
Shitty team
We're all
drama.
aware that
What
that's
the
going to
fuck?
happen. Yeah. Why are they saying hella?
Signed Don Jensen.
That's see, that's the problem, isn't it? Is that it is one of those games. It's not for everyone, but it is for all of us somehow. So that's if you go on to enjoy it, then fantastic. If not, I do apologise. But definitely get onto season 2 and listen to our spoiler cast for sure.
Yeah. Mike Smollett, fighting games. Sean, there is no need to qualify your expertise on fighting games. Being on Midnight Resistance, along with Andy, makes you more than a punter when it comes to a genre. James might want to claim he's a true heir to the throne, given the amount of hours he has dedicated to Dead or Alive, but we all know those hours don't translate to actually playing the game. Love this show.
Hang on, when did I claim that I was a fighting game person?
It's a joke about you just masturbating over Dead or Alive, James. It was a long road around to a little dig there.
It was a hell of a setup. But it's
okay. You playing hundreds of hours of a fighting game, but
James is just like, yep, fair cop.
Okay. That's fine. Just move on. It's okay. He's done me.
I mean, to be clear, it's my So it's my exposure to people who actually play fighting games that I'm like. Although I know what some of the words mean, I also know I'm fucking shite at them. So
yeah,
sure. What's
all the
Hadouken?
qualifiers are for. Hadouken, that's the one where he jumps up and does a punch, isn't it? That's a joke. It's a fireball. I know. I know, James. Come on.
James, are you all right today? You're missing the gags a bit, aren't you?
Yeah.
Taking everything, you literal James today.
Absolutely terrible.
It's fine.
James,
what? I wasn't in last of the summer wine.
James, what's an FADC?
I've no idea. What is it?
Focus Attack Dash Cancel. It's a move in Street Fighter 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, come on, James.
Great.
Come on. Wasn't in Dead or Alive, so
can't believe
it doesn't
you didn't know
count.
that, James.
I mean, don't ask me to come up with another one of those. That's all I've got.
Can James be the new Games Master?
No.
Well,
absolutely.
My emails
what do you mean,
to
no?
Channel 4 have asked that. But no response.
we need to get him on that. Just his floating head. And they go, "Dear Games Master, how do I get past level 3 of Super Mario World?" I don't care. I'm tired. It's late. I've been recording these for ages. I just go away.
Oh no!
There's no cheats nowadays anyway. It's all DLC.
Yeah, if you're struggling with this game, what you need to do is pay £8.
Yeah,
for this.
That would be a good way of getting around that.
Yeah,
that would be a good way of getting around that. Getting around the whole Games Master coming back thing, and they had that whole tip section. The whole point in the Games Master was that children could warp in front of him and ask him a question about a video game and he'd answer. Yeah. But surely the way around that is for them literally to get James to go, "Just Google it. Have you got a phone? Have you got a phone? Have you been to Game FAQs? Just go to that website then. Stop."
No, you could run one of them
How do you feel
websites
about
where you
in-app
can
purchases? No,
you could run one of them websites where you download save games and stuff. You should what you need to do is go to jamesmaster.net. And
did you know if you get stuck on a level, you could give your account details to someone online who can then log into your account and finish the game for you?
Yeah.
That sounds safe.
Yeah. Get Darren Gargett on the phone. If you're struggling with GoldenEye.
Oh, yeah, he could start his business up again.
Yeah,
Collie.
Yeah.
Or they could do it so it's only PlayStation owners, and then you turn on share play, and then the James Master then does it for you live.
You can watch him do it live. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah.
What is your PSN ID?
You could also, for an extra fee, you can say, "Look, I won't say anything the entire time. You can invite some mates around and pretend you're doing it. Just sit there with control and just be like, yeah, just don't even look at the screen. Just be like, yeah, it's easy, this."
Yeah, but would it be like when those people mime in comedy shows or whatever, and then they forget a bit, and it's very clearly obvious that James, the door will go, it'd be Domino's or something, and James would get up and put the pad down and go, "Oh." This is. Are we getting you a lot of work here, James? We're getting you voiceover work.
Yeah, man.
We're getting you a rolling Games Master. You should appreciate it a little bit more, yeah.
Yeah, this is thrilling. All of this is really thrilling. I'm enjoying it.
He can't deal with the nonsense, can he? Cannot deal with the nonsense. Let's get on to the next bit of feedback.
Sir Clive Sinclair has messaged us. What was Sean's problem with people owning my groundbreaking computers? Cheers, lads.
Oh, the fucking... Well, I mean, I was a Commodore 64 kid, That's the short answer. The long answer is fucking look at Spectrum games. Jesus Christ.
Right?
Absolutely atrocious. That colour palette, the fact that whenever you move over an object, your character changes colour, all that shit. Awful.
Do you know, I'm absolutely with you on this, Sean. The C64 was a far superior machine over the Spectrum.
Oh, don't listen to him, Clive. You're all right, mate. Just you tried your hardest.
The only good Spectrum game was that one that Frank Sidebottom did. Other than that, forget it. And that doesn't even have any graphics. That's why it works. It's just text.
Right, okay, go on, let's move on.
Percy Poaching Pan has messaged us. James asked people to write in if they've been playing the Avengers game. I've not played it, but I have played Midtown Madness 3 on the original Xbox. Hope that helps.
It certainly does.
Percy, that does help. Yeah. You played that with me, didn't you, James?
We did. We played that years ago. Like, it wasn't very good,
well,
but
obviously,
we did play it.
It would be scary if we played it last week. I think we'd need to check ourselves if we were sitting there playing a bit of Midtown Madness.
Who did that franchise? Because I know it was on the Xbox and PC. Was it a Microsoft thing? Was it?
It was a Microsoft thing, wasn't it? Because they had the Midtown Madness.
It was Motocross Madness as well.
Motocross Madness was the other one. That was really good.
Yeah.
That was like an open world thing, wasn't it? Like
fun story. A few weeks back I talked about Monster Jam Steel Titans 2. That is some of the same team that did the first Motocross Madness.
Did they also do
high
Whacked
quality
as well?
I've no idea.
Can we locate the developers of Whacked, please? James, next week, your homework, other than the news, is to get a profile of what happened to every single member of the Whacked team.
No, let's not do that, because it's really going to ruin my surprise for the next live show.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just thinking. Actually, we developed Whacked. And it's
James, would you rather be whacked or juiced?
Okay.
Good question.
You're not getting an answer.
No.
Yeah, not into the nonsense. Not into the nonsense. Absolutely. What is he doing here still? Right, go on, next.
Johnny Franks from Bow.
Oh, Johnny from the Flats. Johnny Franks from the Flats in Bow gets all his Cockney rhyming slang mixed up.
Must be that guy.
So we say like apple and stairs, desk.
What is this from? I don't know the reference.
This is a reference that I get, and I'm milking it. It's good. The Armando Iannucci shows, his barber. And he's like, this guy just Cockney rhyming slang, but he gets it all wrong.
Still, yeah, I mean, what a strange show that was. Proper hit and miss all over the place.
Oh, no, I fucking loved it, mate.
Yeah, I mean, there was some duff sketches, but it still contains my favourite ever British sketch show sketch.
There's a kitchen.
Jamanese. It's all made of paper, that's made of paper. Come back here, you punk. All right, okay, go on.
I don't think I'm an asshole if I hammer the PS4 share button every time I see a glitched tackle in Cyberpunk 2077.
I mean, was this a thing? I don't remember.
I'm glad you don't feel...
Did we talk about that?
Okay. I don't think I'm an arsehole if I hammer the PS4's share button every time I see a glitched tackle in Cyberpunk 2077.
Is that supposed to be some glitched tackle? As in...
No,
genitals.
No, yeah, genitals. That's what... No, see, a glitched tackle. Yeah.
See, I've always thought tackle in reference to genitals is a plural. So you say some tackle rather than a tackle.
No,
you don't.
No, you don't. That's the main...
What would you say? Say, I saw his tackle. What would you be referring to?
Yeah, it's genitals,
I saw
obviously.
His tackles.
But it's a plural thing. It's not a singular.
I thought it was a singular.
Yeah, because you wouldn't say, I saw a tackle. That sounds wrong.
You say that his, hers, theirs, some. I wouldn't make it singular.
Next bit of feedback, Matt. Anyone? Let's move on. Next bit of feedback.
Okay, I'm looking forward to next week. Next week's feedback now.
Why was that the one that you decided to join into, James?
What do you mean? I've joined into all of these. I've been the fucking subject to most of them.
I've been the laugh and song of the podcast.
It's on me, baby. Vince Slapchop has...
Sorry, lad. I love when I saw that on the feedback form. It got me. I love a slap chop.
I mean, again, I often think about new listeners that want to check out the show. Why are these names like this? Go on.
The Switch Pro will presumably use the AI upscaling feature built into the latest NVIDIA Shield. It upscales 720p to 4K and looks really good. So I'm sure they'll market it as a Switch for 4K TVs. The bad news is the updated X1 chip is barely more powerful than the last one. So it makes sense to stick in 720p, but still, bigger screen, same resolution is not good for pixel density. 3DS XL, anyone? I'm going to guess Nintendo are banking on the OLED looking so much better that people will not care.
Yeah.
Have you put this in the? Did you put that in the news, James, about the new leaks about this new Switch?
Didn't we talk about it last week? I thought we did.
No, we talked about it 2 weeks ago on the original when we were talking about the just the screen size. That was the only difference.
Mm-hmm.
But now the new leaks are saying that actually no, there's a more powerful processor in it, and it can do more stuff. But which completely went against everything we were saying on that show. I hate it when that happens. It usually happens between us recording and putting the podcast out. But there
was some interesting stuff doing the rounds as well about because we were sort of like, oh, why not 1080p handheld? And basically some people have sort of explained that for the size of the screen and the distance you are probably holding it from your face, it is effectively a Retina display at 720p. So it really doesn't make any difference.
And I hold it 1 inch from my eyeballs, though. Sean.
Well, that's
I use it like a fucking Oculus.
That is different.
That's a point. What about the Nintendo VR thing? Eh?
That's not happening, is it?
No, I hope not. That
Dead.
What do you mean not happening? It's already happened. It's out.
It was.
There's
not going to be a new one.
Happened and since ceased.
Good point. All right, go on, let's move on.
Okay, kablam. Regarding Dave's story about the out-of-touch flat cap wearing old gentleman in HMV boardroom, he might not be far off. A former managing director at HMV came in as a new chairman at the company I was working for, so I thought I'd Google him and found the following report. During a board meeting where it suggested online retailers and downloadable music were the greatest threats to HMV, he angrily responded with, "I don't ever see them being a real threat. Downloadable music is just a fad and people will always want the atmosphere and experience of a music store." Inspired foresight, he probably furiously slapped on his flat cap in a rage and shuffled out the door.
Right,
but
I'll say
this.
I'll say this. That is not the vision I had in my head of the old man in a flat cap. Right? He would definitely not say anything angrily, and his response would have been, "But music lovers love shopping in store with other music lovers. We have to trust them." That would be his response.
Thing is,
people just the feeling of going through some records will never be lost. That's what he'd say. And then he'd wipe a tear from his eye, and then he'd close up his shop. The shutters, cut 2 shutters again.
Well, this is the thing. Like, the guy might have had a point if there was any atmosphere or experience to going into HMV.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just,
independent shops, you can understand it. Like there is like a vibe and everything, but HMV, I don't think so. It was.
No, it was a while back in the day.
Good point, guys. Good point, but he didn't say that. I just said he said that for a joke just then. That wasn't an actual quote of what this fictional character said in real life.
Yeah, the original one.
Okay, fine.
I'll never forget the last thing I bought from HMV shortly before my local one closed down.
Pornography.
No, it was.
Was it an iTunes voucher?
No, it was a copy of Excellent Italian Greyhound by Shellac, and I remember the guy at the desk being like, "Oh, like loads of people have been buying this. Is it any good?" And I had to say, like, "Yeah, it's not on streaming services." So
that's awful. Oh man,
and then you embrace.
It does. I suppose it sucks, but I stopped going to those stores way before they closed. That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like it's like when people when a magazine closed down or whatever, and everyone goes, "Oh no, it's like when was the last time you bought it?"
Yeah.
Stop moaning.
Yeah.
It's like clapping for the NHS.
Yeah, it's that thing, isn't it? Of like people are like, "Oh, well, no, I haven't bought it for years, but I just like the idea of it being there for when one day I arbitrarily decide to go back."
Yeah, exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can still, like, I'm being an arsehole on purpose there. You can still be sad about something that you used to read all the time closing down or whatever, even if you've stopped buying it. But it's, I'm just thinking of the tweet, Sean. I'm thinking about next week's
You can feel that way, but just know it's your fault. That's
I mean, HMV was never good. I think we can agree on that.
I'll leave off.
Fuck off, James.
No, HMV was alright.
I mean, we had some good reminiscing about Virgin Megastore. Was that on the bonus show? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, but Virgin Megastore was better. I always
That's
felt.
what I mean. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that felt like a different class to HMV. HMV was just a load of stuff on some shelves in comparison.
Not everything has to be a war, guys. Can we just get on?
I'm just saying.
Great Virgin Megastore versus HMV war.
I'm just saying the wrong one went under first.
I'm more of an hour price man myself.
Fucking out of price.
Woolworths.
Jesus.
Okay,
I saw a poll on Instagram today that was like, if you can bring one back, if you can bring one back, either Woolworths or Toys R Us, which one would it be? No, I went Toys R Us.
Why?
Really?
Smiths is out.
Because I think Woolworths was like...
What did you ever buy Woolworths?
Yes, Woolworths was just like... They were just
Pick
everywhere,
and mix,
whereas a trip to Toys R Us was like a fucking special occasion.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like there was hardly any Toys R Us around, whereas like Woolworths, there was always a depressing Woolworths in every town, and it was all, and they were all the same, and they were all kind of not very nice, and it was always fun to go in them and have a look and see how like old
Yeah,
stuff.
that's because
they had
you
in there.
love misery, though, James.
I think I said this on the bonus show as well, right? But sorry for the people that pay for it, but it's only a very small part of that
Bloody
podcast.
repeat.
Everyone who listens to this now owes us 5p. Go on, James. Matt.
Out of all those shops, how is it that WH Smith's is still going? How is that the one?
do you want the boring answer?
It's a laundering thing.
No,
go on. That was a joke.
That'd be great.
That was a joke.
No, I believe they handle like pretty much all magazine distribution in the UK still. So it's basically that.
Okay. So I'll ask again. How is that still going?
It's a fair
All
question.
those 10 magazines they're just
they got 6 copies of Edge to ship around the country. Have they? All right, go on.
But yeah, point is, Woolworths was like fucking 80%. And
Yeah,
Toys R Us was getting
Woolworths.
absolutely smashed.
But we've got Smiths. Smiths is the new Toys R Us. And they don't need massive out-of-town stores.
Let's move on, baby.
No, let's have a massive debate about this.
It's just good stuff.
We
No,
can't.
all the Smiths I know are out of town massive ones that I haven't seen.
We don't
them.
even have them down here. I've never seen one down here.
Never
Is it
seen Smiths.
a northern thing?
Never seen a
Maybe
Smith.
it is a northern
No,
one.
is it? I don't think so. but
They're rare down south. They're rare down
you can
south.
still find them.
Okay, let's go.
You got the Entertainer, James.
No,
fucking hell,
they're
we
gone,
still
aren't they now?
talking about
They don't exist anymore.
What? Yeah, they're still going.
Really?
But they are closed
James,
on
do you have
Sundays.
anything in fucking Canterbury?
They used to have one. They used to have one in Bluewater, I remember,
cathedral.
but it wasn't. I don't think it's there anymore. Anyway, forget it. Doesn't matter.
James, what shops exist in Canterbury?
I'll tell you
Name
what,
one
Matthew.
shop, I bet you can't.
I'll tell you what. Very few, thanks to
Need to call him
COVID.
that.
It's going to turn out that James never developed object permanence. It's because he's not been into town for a year. He's just like, no, there's no shops left anywhere anymore.
Seriously,
That's it.
they're all
I'm losing
a lot of them
right,
are
okay, I'm
boarded
losing
up now.
control.
It's in a.
We need to move on.
It's not good.
We need to move on. Come on. Right, I'm
Wilco's, that's
pulling
not a
rank
thing.
here now.
M&S,
Let's
that's gone.
go.
That went 10 years ago.
That's still there. It's yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Wilco's is still a thing. What are you talking?
No, I was
what are you
joking.
doing to me? Let's move on.
Okay, Neil Knife Blocks
Debenhams though.
emailed.
Debenhams is gone.
Little knife.
Debenhams is gone.
Yeah, Debenhams
Well
has
and
gone,
truly.
yeah.
All right.
And House of
Fucking
Fraser's
hell.
on the way out. And
What did Neil Knife?
I mean, it's not
Neil
looking
Knife
good for
Blocks.
John Lewis either, is it? Let's face
No,
it.
it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
What was that?
I don't know. I found that funny. I don't know. It's a good. No. Neil Knife Block. But we had loads of messages about scams. So I'm going to do Neil's, and then you can make a choice about some other ones. But here's Neil's.
You
Good
can
evening,
make a
chaps.
choice here.
Good evening, chap.
It's easy. None of them. Can we just move on?
Oh man, I love these, and it's annoying because last week I said email in with these. So
Yeah, now we've got
did,
those,
and now
James,
we
like,
said
move
don't
on.
send them in. It's fucking shocking. Go on.
Neil Knife Block. Good evening, chap.
I have
used
no
to-
part of this. I'd have read them all out. Go on. Right,
Yeah, me too, actually. I used to work at Game Station store and have an arsehole story for you all. That wasn't what we asked it. Yeah, it doesn't concern me, but my manager, and at this point, it doesn't concern me, but my manager, and at this point, I'll be very happy to grass him up. Our manager would pop down the local pound shop, bulk buy £1 HDMI cables, trade them in for pennies, then sell them on the shop floor for £5 each. He thought his little scheme was brilliant. The moral of this story is, if you're concerned about buying some stickers and ripping off game, don't be. Fuck 'em. Love the show. Would love to see a penalty shootout between the hosts at your next live show. So
my
would
God.
I.
Oh, that would be good.
I would absolutely
Penalty
love
shootout.
that.
I would love that. I'd
That would be
absolutely
good.
love if I beat.
I mean, my most played game EGX when we last went was that penalty shootout. Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Shit, man.
Do you
we
think,
might have
because
to
I've
do that.
played FIFA 17 since that EGX, do you think
Oh,
my
yeah.
ability to just absolutely sky it every occasion is full?
I think it would definitely give you an
I
edge.
reckon-
I think, sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
top corner every time.
Yeah.
We need to get a goalkeeper, though. Who would be the goalkeeper?
Well, if only we had someone that was okay at defending and getting in the way of the ball, but doesn't want to
And
be
to
in
be
goal.
clear, I saw your tweets, everyone. Defending and being a goal are very different.
Oh, he's picked that up, hasn't he,
I
from
would
one
know.
game of
I would
FIFA?
know.
All right, FIFA Pro.
Yeah, so, I mean, that whole scheme sounds... He's not making that money, is he? The shop's making the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rubbish. That's the worst
That's
scam ever.
right,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm going to scam
That
people
is-
and make money for someone else.
Yeah,
Well,
what
I
a
just get my
boffin.
same hourly wage.
What a fucking boffin.
Yeah.
Dad, I made you this much this week, good boy. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm good back from work. It's just awful. What a awful...
Fucking bootlicker,
okay.
mate. That's what he is.
Okay, I'm going to
what
move
a
on.
bum suck.
I'm going to move on. But I'm going to read these because these are good. Ronnie Biggs and the Great Game Robbery. On the theme of ripping off shops in your childhood and then these shops subsequently closing and now feeling compelled to confess, here's a true story. The original Dino Dini's kickoff on the Amiga, bought with a friend to share. I bought with a friend to share, but we couldn't just copy the disc no matter what. And after hours and hours of frustration with Xcopy, we came up with a cunning plan instead. Using a scalpel as delicately as a surgeon, we separated a 3.5-inch floppy disk, leaving no scuff marks, and swapped out the magnetic media for our own failed pirate copy. Then glued it back up, repacked it all, and returned to the shop. Unfortunately for us, a more senior staff member was not convinced by our story that it just didn't work. So we had to stand there nervously while he booted it up on the shop floor to see if our story checked out. The guy could smell a rat, and even when faced with the evidence of a non-working copy of the original software, he looked far from
Probably
convinced.
Pritt stick. They probably use Pritt stick to put it back together. And
Yeah,
he's
no, or
like,
just like
what?
sellotape. So he looked far from convinced, but it has little choice but to replace with a fresh copy. As a result, 2 copies of Kickoff for the price of 1. Apologies to the now defunct store and apologies to Dino Dini. It was a great game, and it was my mate who made me do it.
Can we get Dino Dini to just go, I heard what you did about my game. Let's contact Dino Dini, should we?
If he's alive, he'll be on Cameo.
Well, yeah, of course he is, because he released another version of his game recently, didn't he? Dino Dini's alive.
I don't know who. I don't know.
Oh,
If
well,
he...
this is embarrassing. When I contact Dino Dini and he says, well, I better listen to the show to know what sort of vibe
No,
I need to
I've
give
always
him. And we're
loved his
questioning
or
whether
you
he's dead
contact
or
him
not.
and you get a reply from his widow.
Oh,
saying, well,
God, yeah, that would be worse, actually, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
He's died.
We find this very offensive. We're going to ask you to take all your podcasts down.
He's still around. I just had a look. He released
I know.
a new version of the game, but it received mixed reviews. Or actually, no, sorry, received mostly bad reviews for being a very basic game. Yeah, so yeah,
He's
Didn't
not
I
even
just
that
say-
old. He's
didn't
only
I just say
55.
that?
yeah.
Yeah.
He's talking like,
just say that?
you made an old game. He must be about fucking 80 or dead.
Right.
Okay, all
Brad
right.
Turk,
Shout out to
here's-
Dino Dini, you're my boy.
Right, here, Brad Turk, here's my little story about scams. Here's my little story about scams. Okay, one day when I was in my early 20s, my dad told me that he was looking for a DVD of Harry Chaplin's final show. At first, he could only find it on eBay, usually selling from between $30 and $40. After some deep diving on the internet, he managed to find a media distribution company that was selling an entire case of these DVDs for about $7 each. So my dad decided to buy a full case of 24 DVDs with the intention of flipping them on eBay one at a time for a profit. At this point,
time? Oh, yeah.
he was
Just to generate the air of exclusivity or scarcity, just be like, well, I can't just put them all on. So everyone will be like, oh, well, there's
that'd be
loads.
stupid.
Flood the market, wouldn't you?
At this point, this was still a legitimate operation. A few weeks later, he asked me to pop into one of his eBay auctions to place a bid. Circular bidding, here we go.
Uh-oh.
He explained that there was only one bidder and the auction was only at $15. So if I made a higher bid, I could drive the sale price up, and if I won the auction, he'd just give me the money back and relist the DVD. I agreed and did this a couple more times before eventually giving him my email login and password so he can use my account to bid on his own auctions as much as he wanted. This lasted about 3 days before I got a notification from eBay saying, unfortunately, your account has been restricted for 14 days because it was involved in shill bidding. My dad was very embarrassed and apologetic, and we both had to complete an online tutorial on shill bidding before our eBay accounts got unlocked.
It's like a driving awareness course.
That's the day I learned that committing petty fraud together is the best way to strengthen a relationship between a father and son, and that's what Harry Chapin was trying to say with Cats in the Cradle all along. Appreciate y'all.
I wonder if they sat and did the tutorial thing together.
No. But knowing his dad, he gave his account details to someone else so they could do the tutorial.
Yeah, definitely.
So he didn't have to. And then he got caught for that, and he had to do a giving away your account details tutorial on eBay, followed by a shill bidding one. Okay, cool. That sounds like quite a scam gone wrong. That.
Yeah, Luke Summerhays. All right, TCGS massive. I've been enjoying the little stories of scams lately. It reminded me of the worst one I ever did. Back in the day, my pals and I were in and out of the local game shop every lunch break. One day, my mate Baggage was planning. That's his name. Baggage was planning.
Brilliant.
One day, my mate Baggage was planning to trade in a copy of Mario and Luigi on DS, which I was thinking of buying. He went into the shop and he asked how much I'd give him for trading. I looked at how much it would cost from the shelf, and then I bought it off him for a price in between the two, in cash, right there on the shop floor in front of the bloke at the till. I can't believe nobody said anything. That's
right. Is that the end of the story?
I thought that'd be a better one. It wasn't. Right, we're going to end with John G. And you'll see why in the first sentence. Listening to the feedback, how other listeners made some extra cash in dubious ways, I thought I'll send you how I made over 15 grand in 1998 when I was 14.
Fucking hell!
What? Is it? It's a very short email because then it just says armed robbery.
Writing from prison. It all started when my dad ran a pub at the time. Here we go. This is how it always starts.
Please don't be selling pints out the back to the school kids.
It all started when my dad ran a pub at the time and was trying to cheat Sky out of subscription for the sports channels in the 90s. It was hundreds of pounds a month. So being the only person interested in tech at the time, I was tasked with finding out if it was possible. If it was legal and how much it would cost. After a bit of digging around, I found an advert in the back of an old lads mag offering such a service.
This just gets seedier of every sentence.
This is I haven't actually read the rest of it, so I don't know if it continues at the same quality, but let's hope it does. The other was for a D2 Mac decoder, 120 centimeters, motorized satellite dish, and a smart card channel decoder. Is that the episode title?
That's how you get real hardcore pornography with the smart card channel decoder.
Oh, is it, James? How do you know that, mate?
I was going to say, yeah. No, mate.
How do you know?
Partridge reference.
You've perked up.
Yeah.
To be fair, James is the only one of us old enough to know what pornography was at this point in time, so...
Good point.
When it had music over the top. Go on.
The service essentially allowed you to pick up...
At what point did the porn makers go, should we drop the music? Like, there must have been like a date.
Do you think they were like really indignant? Like, oh, everyone just wants to hear all the grunting and slapping now. This is all. I hate this.
Yeah, but also,
apparently they don't want music anymore.
Fuck, you got to feel sorry for the composers as well, because it's got to be.
I'm thinking the bands that went out of business.
Yeah,
so some people must have focused on that.
I've got a vision of an old man in a flat cap saying, "No, they appreciate the music as well." Snap to him pulling some shutters down on an adult store. Saying, "Going all." God, sorry, Matt. Continue.
Okay, the service essentially allowed you to pick up TV services from around Europe for a fraction of the cost that Sky charged. So after a couple of phone calls and a credit card payment, the install guy arrived. When he did, I managed to get him to run a feed into my bedroom as well as the TVs in the pub. Before he left, he gave us a magazine with all the codes I needed to access hundreds of channels. After being popular on game night for a couple of weeks, I realised I could tape the games and rent them out of school. This is great. After this went down well, I had to buy 2 more VCRs to keep up with the demand. I started looking into what other stuff was available in this thing. Imagine my excitement when I found uncensored hardcore European pornography.
Oh no!
Years before you could access it on the internet and was actually illegal in the UK at the time. So it's completely unavailable. Knowing this would go down well with my new rental business at school, I set an alarm for 1 a.m. so I could go downstairs and switch the satellite over and put a video
I just
in.
remembered he made 15 grand.
Oh my god!
Of course he did.
So you set an alarm for 1 o'clock, so I go downstairs and switch the satellite over. But set another alarm for 6 a.m. so I could take the tape out, reset the TV back to another channel. Within a few weeks, I had about 30 to 35 tapes out on rental at any one time, charging £3 for 2 days.
You got
The
you got to
problem I was
take
running into was getting the
gotta
tapes
take them
back. So after investing in yet another few VCRs on my local Richer Sound, I switched to selling the tapes for £20 each. That way I could sell them all before I went into school and not have a locker full of dodgy tapes. Did it for almost 18 months before my dad sold the pub and we moved out, leaving the dish.
That is
Cheers to the
incredible.
bubbles, listen.
Fucking
That is
hell.
What a
incredible.
story. Well done. Yeah, there's a bit of
Oh my
a
God, I'm sweating.
That is
I'm actually
tremendous.
sweating.
Also,
That's funny.
why? Surely to get the tapes back, you just go, "I'll tell your mum." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then
Surely
they'll
that's
tell
what-
your mum you're doing this at
That
the
you're
pub.
that
Yeah,
you
that's
bought
true.
multiple VCRs to do copies and everything. It's incredible.
Yeah, but I mean, the dad is literally asked him to get some pirate Sky Sports for the pub, so I think it'd be all right, wouldn't it? It'd be a ruffle of the hair. Go on, charge £20 a tape.
Good point.
I'll take 2.
That's it for feedback, and that's probably it for the scam emails. As much as I love them, we probably should end on a high. I don't know.
I think there's more in the
Okay.
questions.
If you got one where you made more than 15 grand, then let us know. Otherwise, don't bother.
Right, okay, fine.
that's
Should we get should we talk about video games now, guys? Should we start that? 42 minutes in. James Farley, what is the news?
There was an ID at Xbox Twitch Gaming Showcase last week that
Boy,
Yeah.
was there.
Very
I mean,
excited to hear about this.
the thing
I
is,
have
there's a bunch of
heard
things.
nothing about it.
What? Yeah.
Content-wise.
Okay. What do you want to do about this? Because I don't really want to go through every single
We're
game.
not going through the games. If
Yeah.
a game come up that you thought looked good, but initially, I do kind of think that maybe we're being a little bit hypocritical because before it launched, we were like, they're really not talking about this, are they? The marketing's really not pushing people towards this stream. And then when we watched the stream, we went, oh, we can kind of see why it's not really
Then
that
why do
sort
it?
of marketing.
Then
thing.
why bother doing it?
I agree. I think. I mean, if we were saying in our WhatsApp group. So, for those of you that don't know what this
what's
is,
wrong with it?
we'll get to it. Well, for those of you that don't know what this is, it's an idea at Xbox. It was a way of promoting indie games for the Xbox platform. They announced quite a few games, and a good portion of those were launching straight to
60 games,
Game
yeah.
There's
Pass.
22 are
Which was
coming
great.
direct to Game Pass at launch, and yeah, there's over 60 new ones.
So they showed off a lot of games, and it was they were doing it all on Twitch Gaming. So it was sort of like a collaboration between Xbox and Twitch. The problem is it just didn't work. The format didn't work. They had 2 streamers presenting the show. They seemed quite nervous, as you would be, doing something like that. But at the same time, they didn't seem to. No, I mean, they'd show off. I've never seen a promotional material where it's been presented by someone and they've shown a trailer for the game and then the presenter says, yeah, it's not my sort of game, to be honest with you. I've never seen that before. That absolutely blew my mind.
Yep.
And maybe we shouldn't be dissing that because at least then they were being genuine, you know what I mean? And you can't accuse them of being false or whatever. But the biggest problem with all of this is that it lasted, 3 hours, was it?
It felt
Yeah.
like, I think, wasn't it? It was more than 3 hours, surely. Because, I mean, I jokingly asked Sean, is it still going? And that was about 3 hours in, and he was like, it's still
that
going.
was about 2 hours after
Yeah.
I'd stopped watching.
Yeah.
It was.
and
They showed a bunch of trailers and there was long developer interviews. And to be fair, I think that when you're showing multiple, like if they were to say we're doing a show where we're interviewing developers of upcoming titles, brilliant. Okay, I know that I'm probably not going to watch that. I might catch up. If there was a game that I was interested in, I might want to see what the devs have to say and see an interview or whatever. But to mix it with game announcements, I think was the wrong thing to do. And to do it over that length of time,
Well,
I
this
think
was
was the
it,
wrong
yeah.
thing to do. It
'Cause
wasn't
it
a very
was
good show.
Yeah, because it was like, these really drawn out either interviews or just bits with influencers chatting with each other, which were, at times just absolutely excruciating. And And then, and obviously I'm sitting there thinking, well, come on, show us some fucking games. And then when they did show you some games, it was like, here's like a 2-minute reel of about 60 odd games that all get, 3 seconds of screen time each. And you're just like, I remember none of that now.
See, this is what was weird. Why not show the games, do sort of trailers and stuff, and then say, okay, we're going to be talking with these developers like in more depth later, and like go back to them or something first. So rather than the pacing was so weird. Like, it was so
bizarre.
off, and it was like every single time there was a developer interview, it sucked all of the sort of like the momentum out of the whole thing. And the funniest thing, I mean, it was sad, wasn't it, with some of those comments. Like, you've got like, them, the influencers like interviewing these developers and saying things like, oh, the chat are loving this. You bring up the chat. That's not what the chat was saying. Like most of the time,
they were being horrific. They were being horrendous.
It was down to like 9,000 viewers after about an hour. Which, I'd be very happy with 9,000 viewers, but for an event like this, that's quite poor. And like, there was a really long interview with, it's like one of the producers at Idea Xbox, and it was only about halfway through, and I was like, he's addressing developers. He's like talking to developers, saying how to get involved with Idea Xbox, and I'm like, who's this for? I don't understand.
It wasn't just that. They did that, and then the influencers came on and did the same thing, and just said, if you want to get a game made, just like sign up here. And you're just thinking, I'm sure developers already know about this, like probably, this is how this works.
I mean, and it clearly wasn't worked out beforehand, because at one point one of the presenters said, "So, define an indie game for us. What does an indie game mean to you?" And they said, one of our rules we have here is to not define what an indie game is. And it was like, the fuck is going on here? It's really bizarre. But anyway, Nintendo knocked these out of the park compared to everyone else. Sony has got way better at doing them. Microsoft still need to find their feet. I think they're great at E3, and I don't think they've really dipped in that form. But in terms of these events and these showcase events, the last 2 or 3 we've seen with them that just haven't been right, and they got to sort the formats out.
Do you think this is because it's the sort of thing that if it had been done in a studio with everyone in the same room, I can sort of see it working?
No, it didn't work before. They did this before.
Right, they did one, didn't they? Yeah.
They did. They tried to do those like Xbox events. Do you remember? I can't remember what they were called. And they were also like, the main complaint were these are excessively long, and there's far too much like just nonsense like in them, like in between everything. It's
I think that's right. I think it's on paper it looks like a good idea. What people like Twitch? Let's do a deal with Twitch, or Twitch approach them, whatever, but they've got this idea of doing it on Twitch, and then you're thinking, well, who's going to present it? We'll get some big Twitch presenters, right? Let's get some Twitch, streamers on there. Okay, fine. And what should we have? Well, we'll show the trailers and we'll interview the developers. I think there's a certain thought process that people have Twitch on 24/7, so the length of time is less of an issue, but it's just not the case.
I think because we've seen this in like E3 before, that like, being an influencer or a streamer does not necessarily mean you can be a host of a show.
No, but also it makes it feel like you can be when it's a completely different skill set. Yeah, completely. Yeah. Hi, I'm Jesse Wellins. I'm a YouTube content creator. Need for Speed, it doesn't work. So I don't know. They need to sort this out if they want big numbers watching these, and trust me, they want big numbers watching these. Yeah. But that wasn't the right way to go about it.
It's just frustrating as well, because I said like last E3, obviously, because there was no E3 last year, so all these other events popped up, and they're all like loads of them showing off indie stuff, which obviously I'm into, but there was so many of them, it was impossible to keep track, and I feel like we're already there. So there was this, there was like a future games thing the other day, that we've just had the Wired Direct, which was another thing that showed off a load of indie stuff that's coming. And I'm just already like, I've already lost track. And surely these things are just going to start seeing diminishing returns at this point.
This is why the Nintendo stuff is so much better as well. Like, even the Indie Direct ones are better. In the sense that they usually choose like a reasonable amount of games to showcase in quite a short, sort of space of time. and you always feel like you get about the right amount of time, with each one as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, the last Nintendo Direct was terrible. Like, it was a really bad one, but it wasn't. But it wasn't bad because of the format. It was bad because of the content.
Yeah, the format was fine.
Yeah,
absolutely correct.
I feel like I need like a dedicated calendar that will just always update with whenever one of these things is on, and then when I'm watching them, I need to have like a fucking notepad to just write down the names of any games that sort of look interesting, and then research, because they're all like, oh, we're showing off like 50 plus games, and it's like, good, I'm not going to absorb any of them because it's just too much to take in one.
Yeah,
I don't know,
so
45 of those
because...
will be. Sorry, Sean.
I was just going to say, it's a stupid thing to moan about, because obviously more avenues for indie devs to show stuff off, and because bearing in mind these will mostly be devs with like little to no marketing budget, so whatever 3 seconds on a reel is better than nothing. But it's just so hard to keep track of now, and that's as someone who is interested in this stuff, I just feel like it's diluting it somewhat at this point.
Yeah, for sure. And I will say this though, out of the games that I did see, Exomecha does look decent.
Oh yeah,
that's that Halo-looking first-person shooter with big mechs fighting around the world as well. So that's
very silly,
at least that's one game that I can.
Yeah,
it looks very stupid, but I love it.
I'm still really excited about the Ascent as well. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah,
that looks
it
really
looked
cool.
very nice. Like the trailer.
I did. Yeah, that was the one. I said it looked like it's kind of right. I was joking, but it's such a stupid thing to say. But it kind of reminded me of the look of Disco Elysium. But you were shooting and throwing stuff. Was it that one?
Yeah,
I think it's just the sort of painted style isometric view.
Yeah, sort of isometric view, but it's like an action RPG, sort of in a cyberpunk setting. Yeah, really excited about that. But again, cool. I was hoping for a release date, but it's just like coming 2021. So
maybe.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Okay. Was that? Did you have any more questions, Matt? Or are you all right?
No, that was it. I hadn't. I just heard it went on for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes,
you missed a lot of
correctly.
You missed a lot of crafting roguelikes, as it were. There was quite a lot of those. Being shown.
Yeah.
Anyway, next story is that Hades has won the best game at the BAFTA Game Awards. This year.
I obviously listened to our podcast.
I was going to say, it's already won the only award that matters, but yeah, it's nice of it to also pick up a BAFTA, I suppose.
It won a few because it got 5 trophies. They got best game, artistic achievement, game design, narrative, and performer in a supporting role as well. So yeah.
Who was the?
I'd love to be able. Yeah, go on. Who won performing a supportive role?
Logan Cunningham.
Who plays?
I don't know.
Okay.
He plays Hades.
Who plays Hades?
No, serious. He plays Hades.
He actually plays.
Oh right, he plays Hades.
He plays the role of Hades.
Who doesn't, Matt? I will say this: I would love to turn around and go, "Hey, see, we did get Game of the Year right, but the BAFTAs are usually so wildly wrong every year that I can't do that. I'm usually looking and going, what? They gave it to what? But, so I can't really jump on the one that I agree with.
We never talked about the nominations, did we, the other week? I mean, I wasn't thrilled about the nominees, but I don't know. It's always boring going into that stuff, isn't it? He didn't nominate the games really I like, so yeah.
Yeah. That's the problem with awards. Awards are all horse shit unless you win one. If you win one, brilliant. You know what I mean? It's really good publicity and everything.
All horse shit until we do our Game of the Year show, which is a solid, fair measure of quality of the games that came out that year.
Yeah,
agreed.
And it
agreed.
objectively decides what the Game of the Year is.
Astro Bot beat Red Dead. Okay, right. Let's move on.
Okay. Also, Microsoft look like they're going to be acquiring Discord by next month. So apparently,
I'm happy about this, aren't they?
They're in exclusive talks to acquire it, and apparently they're going to spend it's like 10 billion or more on the whole thing. And the reason,
how far do they go with it? How far do they go with it, James?
How do you mean?
Do they integrate Discord into fucking everything, or do they keep it as a completely separate entity? Are we going to be logging into our Xbox Live accounts into Discord? Will we be turning on our Xbox Series consoles and launching the Discord. Like, do you know what I mean? It's where are we going with this?
I think they may replace, because at the moment I think it's still using Skype, isn't it? The Xbox Party Chat and all that kind of thing.
Is it?
I wouldn't. Yeah, definitely. It's been using Skype for ages now. That's the system that it runs off.
That's James saying definitely.
Definitely. Oh, for fuck's sake. Anyway.
No, go on.
But
we're not having a go. We're just saying you've got previous.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point. It's a fair point.
Okay.
But no, I've got a. I'm certain that what they'll probably do here is that they'll probably like rip all that out and replace it with Discord because the quality is a lot better, obviously. And it will be. But I think we'll probably also see a rebrand of Discord eventually, where it will become like Microsoft Gaming Teams or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised. Come on, they messed around.
Instead of teams, it'll just be like squads. Or something.
Yeah, Microsoft Game Squads or something like that. You know,
people be sideloading Zoom onto their Xbox consoles. Is that what we're saying? Is that where we're looking?
But, I mean, I'm not very excited about this, honestly.
I was going to say, like, I think we can all agree that if they've got any sense, they should just continue to run it as its own thing, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Discord is such a huge deal now.
It's just a shame, isn't it? When as soon as something becomes big, it's like automatically, obviously, a takeover target by one of the massive like tech companies. And the thing is if you look at Microsoft's acquisitions, and I'm not talking about gaming, I'm talking about their like product stuff that they bought. Generally, it doesn't end well for most developers. You know, when that happens, it's not been like great. You know, when that happens, so. I don't know. I mean, look at how they mishandled Skype. That's been terrible. You know, they bought all of those like calendar apps as well and shut them down. Email one, shut them down. You know, they
bought LinkedIn.
Yeah,
that's still a thing.
Yeah, it's strange. But I don't think it's a great thing. This, and it's a bit of a shame. But it looks like it's definitely going to happen because they want to. I mean, the reason they want this, apparently, according to Bloomberg, is because they want consumers from like gaming and social networking. It's like the two things that they're still trying to get into.
Stop trying to get us. Fucking hell. Oh, we're getting with Game Pass. We're getting with Discord. Fuck it. What is it? We're getting with bread. Let's buy bread.
Can't
fucking get
bread.
with that.
But it's a shame.
I'm not talking about the sitcom. All right, okay, go on then.
But also, the other thing they're doing, which is probably a more positive thing, is that they're cutting the gold requirement for party chat and free-to-play multiplayer on Xbox. It's not happening yet, but it's coming very soon. Xbox insiders are going to get it soon, and then others are going to get it ahead of general availability.
I didn't know that it was a requirement for party chat. That seems bizarre.
Yeah, no, it always has been.
It feels bizarre that it's requirement for free-to-play games. So I'm glad they're making a change.
Yeah, so...
do you remember a couple of months ago they tried to raise the price?
Yeah.
what a fucking
weird.
U-turn, man.
Turned out people didn't like it. Weird.
No.
So people...
Netflix have raised it twice since. So that's... Go on.
Yeah, so people will get access to party chat, looking for groups, and the free multiplayer stuff. So that's good. Okay, last story is about Balan Wonderworld. Because this is... Where are the reviews for this game? Where are the reviews?
It's bizarre.
They still don't exist. I've seen one.
You talk about user reviews? We've seen them.
No.
Seen a few of them. Fair few of them. Swimming in user reviews, Lid.
Yeah, not an awful lot.
Go onto Twitter, search Balan Wonderworld. There's a lot of people defending that game with anime, Sonic anime, like avatars and shit.
Well, have a look at the Metacritic reviews. There's a lot of user reviews.
Yeah, it's nearly 100%. It's a perfect game.
Look, I haven't played the full game. I'm not going to pass comment on it. My opinion on the demo was that it was dog shit, and it was embarrassing.
So why does it say here, Dave, on Metacritic you gave it a 10?
Because someone's hacked my account. Someone hacked my account. What I will say is that them not sending any copies to press is kind of scandalous. Yet no one's really making that point.
I mean, yes and no. We've seen this.
Like,
this is quite common, or certainly more common than it used to be, right?
Well, it's common that the codes are sent out on launch day.
Yeah.
That's quite common, but to not provide them at all is pretty bad.
I thought they did send them out on launch day. That was my
Yeah, because
understanding.
VGC got one out. I can't remember who else. I'm sure I might have seen a second one, but yeah, they sent them out on...
So Yeah, so I might be wrong about that. That's not. None of this is confirmed. It's all comments that have been passed around on Twitter and rumor and stuff. What I will say is that there are no reviews out for this. There's like one, right? And I'm surprised websites haven't bought it, because there must be a lot of people looking for reviews from this, from say Eurogamer, IGN, the big guns. I mean, we were hoping to have one this week, weren't we, James? But you've let us down, son.
Yeah, sorry.
You've let us down. What a strange game. I mean, the reports that come out on launch day about there being epileptic triggers in the final boss. That was cleared up quite quickly, to be fair to them, and said, no, that's already been patched out of the game. It was a bug. There was footage very similar to the one that was doing the rounds, where the flashing effects weren't happening. So it was clearly a bug, and they did have a day one patch, and they had to announce to everyone to download that day one patch to get rid of that bug. So the good side of this story is that they were quick to get that bug patched out for launch. But yeah, I mean, it's just a bizarre, weird game that I think people are going to be talking about for a while. Especially a certain sub.
I think this time
the
next
Sonic
week
fans are weird, mate.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, this was on top of the game being shite. This was not the press that it needed, was it? But shite game might also physically harm you. It's not good.
Yeah, as Dave said, though, the main thrust of the news story was that it's been patched, and Square Enix are saying, please patch it before you play it, because it's bad for you.
Yeah. All right. Okay. That's Balan
Speaking
Wonderworld.
of patches, I know this isn't in the news, James, so apologies, but have you seen the Cyberpunk patch notes?
No. I read that. I heard.
Is that out yet?
Holy shit!
It's out, is it?
So I don't think the patch is out, but it's
no. They haven't even got a release date for the patch.
Yeah, so they've released the patch notes, and I had to have a lie down after reading about a tenth of it. So
that's a good sign, though, right?
Well, but it does sort of give the lie to the claim that, we didn't notice the issues you've all discovered since it came out.
They also held their hands up and said it shouldn't have launched.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much we can dig them out by that. I thought you were going to say it was like minor bug fixes. Like that was the patch notes.
The amount of stuff they've fixed is unbelievable. Again, it highlights that it should never have been released, but it's yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But fair play to them.
Have they fixed the traffic one? Are there any highlights in there?
I honestly, I had to scan through so much, I've forgotten half of it already. So they fixed the vehicle handling and stuff.
Big handling. There's lack of T poses, but the patch notes are over 8,000 words.
Yeah, they fixed the lack of T poses.
No, what? Did you say they fixed T poses while driving or something? I don't know.
Yeah,
but the fact is 8,000 words in just patch notes.
Added a few in.
My personal favourite was they fixed a bug where if you were in stealth and you headshotted someone, apparently Jackie would go, "Nice shot, man." So they patched that out. But yeah.
They never patched that problem out of The Last of Us, though, did they? Where that was the funniest, and everyone talks about it when you were in stealth or whatever as Joel, and then Ellie just walks in front of the bad guys. Stop, what are you doing?
Speaking of Last of Us, where's the Last of Us 2 PS5 version? Where's that?
Yeah. Are you going to play it again?
I want to see it on PS5, definitely.
I don't know. If you don't know, Matt, I probably don't know, do I, mate? I'll have a word. What now?
Yeah, could you?
Okay. Hello, is that Druckers? I've got a question for you, mate.
Doing it. Okay.
The Druck man.
Yeah. He's actually doing it.
No, Joe's fine.
He knows people.
She's fine. Yeah.
It's amazing.
We were just wondering, where's the PS5 version of The Last of Us? Matt wants to know.
Last was part 2, not the first one.
I was going to say, I want a sequel.
Matt Murray? Matt Murray. The dude that got scared at PT. Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Tell him about the keyboard.
Yeah.
Like low profile.
It's low profile.
All right. Okay. Cool. I'll let him know. All right. Nice one. I'm seeing you this weekend for your sins, aren't I? Yep. How is Julie? She left you yet? Okay, all right, bye. Bye, okay. She has left him. I forgot about that. He said that you'll find more. You'll find out more at a later date. They're not willing to announce anything just yet, Matt.
Could you bring him back? Because you said last week I meant part 2.
I'm sorry, no, I'm not gonna bother him again. That's how we remain friends. I don't keep bugging him. Right, okay. Should we move on to what we've been playing this week?
Go on.
Yeah,
Matt, I can't wait. A week off. You haven't played anything this year at all. I'm looking forward for what you got for us this week. Can't wait. What have you played this year?
Well, no, yeah, actually, that might be true.
Okay, so what have you got for us this week?
Lots of reward points.
Absolutely fuck all.
Absolutely, but unbelievable. Right, okay. James, let's get to you, James.
All right. I've got one thing that I want to talk about because I'm annoyed actually with it. It's annoyed me. So
Okay.
I've been playing Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon 2. Now I don't know if any of you know what this is. Do any of you know what it is at all?
yeah. This is the sequel to the spin-off of Igarashi's Bloodstained, the sort of Castlevania spin-off.
Yeah, and
spin-off of a
Bloodstained was
spin-off
quite
of a
well respected,
spin-off of
right?
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he couldn't release Castlevania games anymore. No, what is it called?
Yeah,
What's the
Castlevania,
thing
yeah.
called?
Yeah, so he was
Castlevania.
responsible for sort of reinventing Castlevania with Symphony of the Night and stuff, and then so then he did a Kickstarter for Bloodstained, and then wasn't Curse of the Moon like a stretch goal from that? And he was like, oh yeah, I'll do like a sort of retro, straightforward platformer, and that was meant to be all right, wasn't it?
It was. It was great, and I loved it. It was very good because what it was really just like a Bloodstained game, but in the vein of like the original Castlevania. It was very similar to that.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a lot more like Castlevania 3, and which is not necessarily a bad thing because that was quite a good game. I quite enjoyed it, and as I said, I really loved the first one of this, but I'm beginning to hate this one, like in a big way, because the first step, because what it does is it splits the game up into, I think there's like 4 chapters basically. There's 3 like sort of regular ones, and then the last one is sort of the final episode. And the first episode was okay, although it did have that horrible thing of I got to the end of some levels and I did that sort of like, I'm glad I'm not going to have to do that again, because that wasn't really particularly fun, and I'm glad that it's over. But then there's other bits that were really good, that were very fun. But then, unfortunately, to complete the game properly, you do have to do it again, because you have to complete most of the levels over and over and over again for each episode. So the second episode is basically the same as the first one, but harder, with just slightly different boss enemies or sort of modifications to them. And what's really frustrating about it is that you get to some of the bosses in this game, and there's the gap between like the checkpoint and then you get to the boss. Sometimes the gap can be quite long, before you get there. Like in Dark Souls, how it was like that as well sometimes. How it's the run up to the boss is also sometimes a bit irritating.
Yeah, so you get part of the boss in a lot of ways, but yeah.
Yeah, so you get that, but then also these are the kind of bosses that will kill you in seconds, so that then you're not sure, like you don't have time to even figure out like all the like the patterns and everything of like where you're supposed to go and how you're supposed to move and that kind of thing. And it's really weird because some of them, like the first one in like this EX episode, was incredibly difficult. Like the first one, it took me ages to like get past it, but then the one about 3 or 4 of them, like the next levels as it went on, were dead easy, like no problem at all. Like smash them on my first attempt, and then there's another one that's like incredibly difficult, and it's just really uneven. Like the sort of the difficulty is really, really uneven. And you see, I like finishing games. It's just a thing I've got. I like to finish stuff. And this is the first one for a long time where I'm really close to spinning.
So sue me.
Yeah.
It's not that controversial, James. Everyone likes finishing games.
No, but I just really like doing it. And it's like this is one of those ones where I'm really close to just bidding it off. But then I'm trying to figure it off. I'm trying to figure in my head, how can I justify that in my head as being I've finished it even though I haven't finished it really?
You don't need to justify it, mate.
Yeah.
Be free of that.
Yeah, you're not enjoying it anymore. That's it. That's all you need to know.
It's just really annoying because there's certain parts of it that are really good. Like I love the art style, like the characters are good, all that kind of stuff. But it's so frustrating in places that it's just incredibly irritating. Like really, really annoying.
Is this new?
Not particularly. I think it came out end of last year. I think it's not.
What made you play it then?
Well, because I enjoyed the first one, so I thought I'll have a go at this. And I mean, even bumping it down because it's got like difficulty levels, and I bumped it down to casual. And it's still really difficult. It doesn't make any difference at all. The only difference is that you have infinite lives, and that's pointless anyway. So it's like, what's the point of doing that? I don't know. It annoyed me.
How far are you from the end?
not very far, and that's what's frustrating me because
Okay, don't just drop it. Why would you spend your time doing this then?
I don't know, because I've got a problem, David. I hate leaving things unfinished, like with games. I hate it. And it's
What's the last game you left unfinished?
I can't remember. That's the thing. It's been ages since I did that. Like, since I didn't put an amount of time into something and not finish it. It's been ages since I did that, and I can't remember. I hate it. I hate not finishing stuff. It really bugs me. And this is going to be one of those things where, in the back of my mind, I'm always going to be thinking, I could probably get past that boss if I spent long enough trying to do it. But then I don't want to because it's not fun. So it's just like, I don't know. Maybe I should just get rid of it. It's
Right. Okay. We're going to tell you now. Right. Oh well. Should we come on, Sean? Come on, mate. Oh, well done, James. You finished the game.
Hey, congrats. Here's reward.
Great
What that was?
games player you are.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done,
So
man.
skilled.
You're probably the best games player I know.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll stop playing it because I want to play something different anyway.
Yeah. What do you want to play?
I don't know. I'm thinking of playing Kentucky Route Zero next, actually.
Oh, yes.
I've got that.
Do
Really?
that.
Yeah.
Over Balan Wonderworld.
No, I'm not playing that.
James,
Come on,
James,
mate.
tell me if you play Kentucky Route Zero, because I also really need to, because we got shouted at a bit for not playing that last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I mean, Matt, you're
If you
keen
remember,
as well,
Matt
aren't you?
bought that for
Yeah,
all of
'cause I
us
played the
about
first one-
40 years ago, didn't it?
Yeah, and I think it was like 11 years when I backed on Kickstarter.
Oh,
got the
God,
first
yeah.
episode. And then I love that. That was brilliant. And then the episodes after that took literally years.
Yep.
And then it finished last year. And I think as a result, we back in that Kickstarter back in 2011 or whenever it was. I've now got access to the TV version, which is like the proper
Nice.
final
Yeah,
version.
yeah.
And I heard when people were finishing it last year saying how good the ending was and how glad they stuck with it. So yeah, I'm definitely interested. But
We should sort that out. That would be cool, for us all to play it and talk about it on the same week.
Yeah.
It's not
Did
very
you back
long
it at the time, James?
It's pretty. No, I didn't back it. No, I mean I bought it on Switch because it was on the sale. It was only about 12 quid or something. It wasn't like super expensive. So I thought I'd like to play this, and yeah. So maybe I'll do that instead because I've really had enough of this now. Even though it is going to be in the back of my mind forever, which is irritating me.
There you go.
Yeah. The only other thing I played is I played Hitman 3, and I finished that on the stream the other day. And I don't have a huge amount more to say than I like that game. I think it was great. It was very good.
That game.
Although,
yeah, that last level's a bit of a.
It's rubbish,
It's not
isn't
really a cop out. It's not. I wouldn't even say it's rubbish. It was okay. It just wasn't a Hitman level, was it? It was something to finish the story that you didn't care about.
the only thing that was cool with that is that I can't spoil it, can I? That's annoying. I just like to.
I mean,
no,
I
I better
don't
not.
really, I don't
spoil
really
it.
care, but
No, don't spoil it.
Does anyone care?
Are you not interested in going back to the other games?
Yeah, definitely. No, I want to. I'm gonna.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm gonna
man,
do that.
there's loads of great levels in 1 and 2. So
But yeah, no, the reveal at the beginning of that level is brilliant. Like the way it's done, I thought was great. Like you think you're in one place, but you turn out to be somewhere else. Was very cool.
You do.
Yeah, I like that.
You do. Yeah, definitely play through 1 and 2 because you the way you play them, you finish them. It was quite funny. Have you got all the way through 3 yet, Sean?
I haven't. No.
So the last level is pretty straightforward. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
He spent the same amount of time on that level as he did the one in the mansion. I just kind of think, what the fuck?
About an hour, basically.
Yeah, about an hour. Basically, yeah, James, you need to go and. I mean, the Paris level's fantastic.
Yeah.
Sapienza and stuff. You get that done. Get that done.
My favourite one was
right.
the one before. Not it wasn't my favourite one, but just the ending of the one I did, like the mission before. When you're in there's that massive mansion and everything, and there's like the party going on. And I just got lucky by murdering one of them, and then I ran out, and then the other target was just coming into the room at the same time. So I managed to take them out as well, and then change.
I wish I could show you the way that I took those out. I mean, I can probably go into that a bit. So the friend of the person you go to the party or that you meet at the party, right? And you have to kill her, right? I got to the point where I did this whole storyline, and by the end of it, it was like comedy. it was comedy. I was doing a factory tour where I was literally showing them around with no one else around, and there was like this massive grinder. It was like a grape crusher thing, and like she was like leaning over, going, "Oh, look at that! That looks really good." And it was like, and then we'd move on to the next bit, and it'd be another really dangerous thing that she was like leaning over towards and stuff like that. And it was like the game was just like nodding and winking at you, like saying, "This just push now, just press the A button, and let's finish this story." Yeah, that made me laugh a lot. But yeah, no, pretty much all the levels in that are fantastic. I love them all in different ways. You know, it's definitely up there this year. Hitman 3 is an absolute classic.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Should we get on to? Should we do Sean's bit?
Hello, Sean's bit.
It's a big one. It's a big one for you, Sean.
Monster Hunter Rise, because that's out now.
Yes, I'm very looking forward to hearing about this.
Oh, mate, it's fucking brilliant. I absolutely love it. It's everything I wanted, because it's you know, it marries up loads of the quality of life stuff from Monster Hunter World, but it's got a bit of colour and a bit of fucking character, which I missed in World. World was a bit dry in comparison. It is fascinating how, you know, for a series that is famously quite complex, and it still is, how much they've just streamlined even further from World, and I'm still just like, yeah, do you know what? Fuck it. It's better.
Sean, when you say streamlined, what have they streamlined though? How has it changed? Like,
so, for example, traditional Monster Hunter, right? You drop into a level, you know what monster you're trying to hunt, but you've no idea where it is. You've got to explore the map, you've got to find it, and then upon finding it, if you want to continue tracking it, you have to have a paintball, and you have to throw a paintball at the monster, and then it will, like, the monster will then appear on the map for 10, 15 minutes or whatever. And if you forget to bring paintballs, you're just fucked, right? Monster Hunter World, they were like, right, that's sort of bullshit. Let's stop doing that. And they introduced this system where you have these scout flies, right? So you'd enter a map, and then you'd be like, there's some claw marks on a tree. Get the scout flies to have a sniff, and then they would pick up a trail for the monster, right? And it was sort of cool, and it was streamlined, but it just meant that you started every hunt by just going like, right, find a turd or something, let the scout flies have a whiff, and then you just, you know, like The Witcher 3, where you're just following fucking trails in the air. It was a bit of that. This one, you can just see all the monsters on the map. As soon as you enter, it's like, yeah, they are. Go have a go. It's fine.
Does that is that better though than like following trails? Do you feel?
I've been trying to. Yeah, I don't know. I've been going back and forth on this because I quite enjoyed the sensation of tracking them. Like, even, pre-scout flies, it was cool. Like, dropping into a map and being like, right, I know I'm hunting this monster. I know where its like habitat is in this map, so I'll start there, and then from there you can sort of watch like what the herbivores are doing. It's like, well, the herbivores always avoid the big scary monsters, right? So if herbivores are traveling from one area to another, it's like, right, well, it's probably in that area. That stuff was all really cool and really clever.
Yeah, I assume the Monster Hunt, the proper fans would love that, the aspect of the hunting.
Exactly, yeah. There was a real sort of hunting and tracking element of it. But also, it did take me like 2 or 3 games to really get my head around that stuff. And now I'm just like, is that cost really worth it? The amount of people that just bounced off the series because of shit like that. Mm-hmm. Whereas this just gets you straight into the actual hunting stuff. And I think it's a reasonable trade. Because it's still not an easy game by any means. Like, once you start fighting a monster, it's still, you can still get battered pretty easily if you're not paying attention. And there's still like so much to learn with like every single one of the weapons. The way it eases you in, like the first few monsters you fight are sort of fairly straightforward in terms of how they attack. But then like the one I've just fought is like a giant monkey that has a tail with like a hand on the end of it that like grabs fruit and throws like poison fruit at you and shit. And it's like, yeah, this is weird. I love it. It's just, there's like just really silly ideas in there. And it's just like the onboarding is still quite bad because like there is still quite a lot to it, and And rather than sort of easing you into the systems, it's just like, we will just explain everything immediately as soon as you start. And I hope you're up for reading quite a lot of text, because there's a lot of it. And inevitably, you will skip things. And then 2 hours later, you go, right, I want to play with my mates. How do I do that? Fuck, it definitely told me, and I wasn't paying attention, and I've forgotten. So that's still a problem. But it's more immediately fun. Like you're like, the time it takes you to just get into a hunt and enjoy it is way shorter than it's ever been.
So it's moving across the map faster than before as well.
It is, because now you have a dog that you can ride around on. Like, it's always been a thing in Monster Hunter that you have like an AI assistant, right? Which for the last few games, they're called palicos. They're these little cats that stand on their hind legs and they sort of assist you. They fight a bit and they have sort of support abilities and stuff. Whereas now you have one of those and a dog, or you can have any you can have basically two assistants. You can have any combination of the two, but it makes sense to have one cat, one dog, and the dog, you can ride around on it. So that's just another way that's just like, just fucking sprint across the map. And then they've added these what's it called, the wire bug, which is basically like a grapple hook, except you can just sort of, like, it doesn't have to grapple onto anything. It's a flying insect on like a glowing string, and you can just chuck it out.
I really
in
enjoyed
front
that
of
for
you.
the demo.
Oh man, it's so good.
Really satisfying.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And then that also plays into, like, that's how you can like tie a monster down and then mount it. And the mounting stuff is hilarious, because you basically, like, previous Monster Hunter games, you would fight a monster, and if another monster showed up that you weren't specifically trying to hunt, it was fucking bad news. It was like a whole other set of problems to have to think about, right? And it was like quite a common tactic you can make like dung bombs, literally little balls of poo, and you would throw it at one of the monsters and it would make it stink and it would run away. Whereas now it's like, fucking brilliant, another monster's shown up. And then you mount one of them, and then you get the two of them to fight each other, and they drop loads of extra materials, and it's fucking cool as fuck.
Yeah. Here's a question. So, but do the monsters like fight each other in general, like, at all, like, without
they do. Yeah, if another one shows up, they'll usually have a little bit of a barney, which you get. That was something they introduced in World, and so that they'll have a fight, and then that will usually make one of them mountable. So then you climb on that, and then you sort of playing as the monster, fighting the other one for a bit, and then it's great fun. Go on, sorry.
See, the other thing I've been wondering about this, because I've been kind of curious to try this one day, but I've never have done. This is the thing that everyone always says, like, I've always thought about trying Monster Hunter, but I never have. Yeah. But one of the things I'd like to know about it is there any kind of like narrative running through this thing at all? If there is there any point to it? Like, is it something you can engage with at all? No?
It's not like a good story. It's just basically, there is a village, and every so often, for unknown reasons, all the monsters attack the village at once.
Okay.
And that is basically it. Like, there's some good characters in it.
It sounds like the sort of effort that they put into the arms law. Remember that? One day, everyone woke up with springy arms, and then they decided to have a fight. That was it. And then they said Nintendo will reveal more about the arms law in due course, and they never did. God.
The story is it's paper thin, but there are loads of like cool characters. The fact that like the whole, like, Monster Hunter's always had a big thing about food, right? It's like a ritual that you set up a quest, and then you go and eat before you set off, and there's like different sort of combinations of ingredients you can use to like give yourself different status effects and stuff.
Can I say something about that, Sean?
Yes.
I haven't played the game yet, but I've seen that it doesn't look anything like as good as the amazing food in World.
I would have to agree with you there. It is a bit of a disappointment. It's obsessed with dango, which I've never had. It's a Japanese, dish. It's like a takeaway thing. You sort of eat it on a stick. It's basically like balls of like sugar, isn't it, James? I don't know if you've ever.
Dango. I've not seen it. No.
I think it's like sugary rice balls, I think.
Okay, all right.
And basically that's all that anyone in this entire village eats. Whereas like in World, it was like there's like loads of like weird and wonderful dishes and stuff. But it's always like, again, it's that ritual of just being like, right, setting up a hunt, and then like especially in multiplayer as well, and like everyone sits down and has dinner together before you set off. It's cool. And then there's between hunts, there's all this other stuff to manage. So there's like your sort of AI pals that can help you out. You can hire more of those, and you can send them off to do like trading or to go on their own little missions and stuff. And there's funny cutscenes where they all fly off attached to some kites and shit. And it's just, it's great. I love it. I don't want to play anything else. I just want to play this forever.
All right. So
how is the Sorry, Dave. Go on.
Yeah, I was going to ask that, James.
Sorry.
Go on, multiplayer.
Yeah, how is that? How does it work?
So it's weird in that they've split it up again. It was always, traditionally it was a thing that you had. So there was basically two separate mission trees. You had like the village stuff, which was your single player content, and then you had the hub stuff, the gathering hub stuff, which was your multiplayer missions, which are all scaled for, like having a full team rather than just you doing it on your own. And then in Worlds, they just like brought it all together, and it just, however many people were on your team, it just scaled it accordingly. For some reason, they've split it again, which personally I don't understand. Because like what's now happened is, having done like quite a bit of the campaign, so I did some multiplayer last night with a friend, and we were both like, right, we've basically got to start at the bottom again and work our way up. We've got to like fight the easier monsters and then work our way up from there, which is weird. And I've never understood the logic behind that. I do know that like some like series veterans just completely ignore the single player stuff and just do the multiplayer stuff on their own because that's the only way they can get any challenge out of it. That to me is absolutely insane. But the multiplayer's fine. It works really well. The lobby system is weird initially, just in terms of like the character that you have to speak to sort of turn on multiplayer is, again, if you skip the tutorials, you'll forget that the character even exists. It's just this one cat who's like the postman in the town, and you talk to him, and that's how you start. And once you remember that, it's fine. But yeah, it's quite easily like you just it brings up your friends list. It's like, I think it's like the first. No, other than Mario Kart, it's the first Switch game I can think of where it's like, oh, it's accessing my friends list and allows me to join games with people. What a novelty!
Oh shit! Have they updated the app for it?
Yeah, is it voice chat all over that, or
is the app still just Splatoon and?
As far as I'm aware, it doesn't have voice chat, which is incredible. So we've been using Discord, or just like WhatsApp voice calls, which is a joke.
Microsoft Discord.
Yeah, copyright. So that's weird. But mostly I've just been playing it on my own and having a brilliant time.
Okay, so for our listeners that have never played a Monster Hunter game, but always, as James says, one of those people that's like, I should get to that. I should try Monster Hunter. I've always been meaning to. What's your quick summary of why you should pick it up? Like, what makes it so good for newcomers that they may not know about Monster Hunter, and specifically this version, that would make them go, okay, yeah, that's convincing me to jump on board.
It's the fact that everything about it is so considered and in depth, right? There's like 8 different weapon types. I think there's probably more than that now. There's tons of different weapon types, and each one of them you could hang like an entire game off, right? They're all so deep and have like weird and wonderful mechanics to them. Every single monster you fight, each one is sort of as sophisticated as like a boss in Dark Souls or something like that. They're all like, they have all these quirks and different moves and characteristics to be learned. And it's that structure of like, so every monster you kill, you get parts from them, you make stuff out of the parts you get from them, and that becomes your armor and your weapon. So rather than it just being like, here is a list of monsters you need to fight, you're looking like, you will have like an ultimate goal, like, right, I want to get like this weapon, or I need to fight this monster. In order to do that, I need to be able to deal fire damage, or I need to be shielded against ice damage or whatever. And it's like, right, well, what monster is going to give me those parts that I need to make the gear that I need to eventually face off against that? And then you sort of work backwards, and it's just so fucking interesting. I love it. And yeah, and I say that the combat's just insanely deep. There's just so much to learn about every single monster, every single weapon type. Like every, if you've seen people posting like cool videos of stuff they've done, like none of that is easy. Everything feels earned. It's like you can't just button mash. Like you've got to learn the combos and stuff. It's like sort of touches on the like what's cool about fighting games, but in a way that someone like me who is shite at fighting games can engage with, basically.
So do you think this is as user friendly as Worlds, or it's kind of it is kind of in between? So less user friendly, but for someone like you who's played and loved the series, it feels like a nice middle point between the older ones and World. Or for someone new, would they still find it as user friendly as well?
I think it's a middle point in terms of like character and tone. I think that's where it sort of brings the traditional Monster Hunter stuff in. I think in terms of easing people in, I think this is definitely just as viable as World was, if not more so.
But I mean, why would you jump on this over, say, World? Like, because World, I assume, looked a lot better.
It did,
as you say.
I mean, this looks nice
and stuff.
For a Switch game, it looks gorgeous. But it's, I mean, I suppose the short answer is like this is the one that most people are going to be playing. I mean, if you're not a big Switch user, and like especially if you've got an Xbox and Game Pass, like Monster Hunter World is on Game Pass, like definitely have a go. But yeah, go on.
See, I'd heard that one of the big advantages of this though is that the missions, a lot of them are shorter as well, like because of the format. Because it's like for Switch.
It does feel that way.
Pick up and play feels more, is better.
Yeah,
maybe.
because World like was very much like World sort of felt like they wanted to make it a like a game as a service thing. It was like there was like daily login bonuses, and like you couldn't really like you would load the game up, and it was like what online session do you want to join? And like the option of just playing offline just wasn't really there. Whereas this just feels a lot more sort of immediate and accessible. And the hunts do seem like relatively short. But I've so
you would say this is much more single player focused.
I mean, yes and no. Like I've certainly so I must have put about 10 hours in before even considering playing with other people. Whereas with World, it was very much straight away like you are joining a multiplayer session, whether you like it or not. Like not that you necessarily had to play with other people, but it would put you in a town like with other people, and it wanted you to be aware of like other people doing stuff. Whereas this, you can just crack on your own.
So for someone who wants to play on their own, they could probably get a whole load of use out of it and have some fun just going without the need for other people. But for people who wanted to have like a real multiplayer experience, is it geared enough towards that, or is it very much more geared towards...
there's shitloads to do either way. As I say, if you're not a big Switch user, then like World is still brilliant. But for me, like I say, this sort of brings back a lot of the things I really liked about the traditional ones. But again, that's mainly rather than mechanical stuff. That's just the fact that it's colourful and the characters are quite like funny and interesting. I fucking love it. It's great.
Is it going to be like a 100-hour type of game?
Oh, easy.
Or do you think Ash
hundreds.
It will.
Hundreds upon hundreds of hours if you really want to. It'd be interesting to see if they support it in the way they did with World, because World had a lot of like additional free events and stuff, and like content that they just added. It'll be interesting to see if they do the same for this. I mean, they'd be mad not to. Apparently, it's already cleared like 4 million units.
Yeah, 4 million the first weekend.
There's something coming at the end of April, I think, from what I read.
Oh, okay.
There's more content coming. Yeah.
Because you can get this from Curry's amount for like 32 quid delivered.
Yeah,
which is crazy
weird.
Cheap.
Well,
why is it so cheap?
I don't know.
It's a full
because I only paid
game.
I only paid 35 from it. And that was from Amazon. Yeah. Then I think Shop 2 had it for 35.
Make the old Sony £70 game seem a little bit more to swipe.
I mean, Christ, like if you're short on cash, like in terms of value for money, Jesus Christ, like you can literally put hundreds of hours into this if you want.
But how come this isn't like a full price Switch game?
I think it's supposed to be. I think like on the eShop, it's like full 50 or 60 quid or whatever. It's just for whatever reason, there's just been cheap physical copies doing the rounds. No idea.
Maybe it's because it's never done like massive numbers in the West, so they were just like,
well, it has though, because World was Capcom's biggest ever game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's my theory, God.
I'm sure about it. It's never done well over here. I'm sure. No, it did really well over it.
Guaranteed.
Maybe
Never sold a copy. Yeah, I'm tempted because I did enjoy the 15 hours I played the world, but
the literally 15s of hours happening to well. Okay, cool. Monster Hunter. So it sounds like it's living up to what you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously, relatively speaking, early doors. But yeah, I'm having a brilliant time with it.
Can I tell you about a game that's far exceeded my expectations?
I'm looking forward to hearing
Yes,
about
please.
this because I cannot wait to play it either. But go on.
It Takes Two, the new Joseph Fares joint. I don't. I'm kind of blown away by it. Like I'm very early on. I'm about 2.5 hours in. For those of you that don't know,
excellent.
Yeah, they were really good.
Whoa, 9.5.
There's been a little bit of backlash here and there, mainly about the story, but I'll cover that a little bit for as much, as little as I played it. I'll touch on that. For those of you that don't know what It Takes Two is, it's Joseph Fares who he was part of the development team that worked on Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which was an excellent indie game where you controlled two characters with one pad. You've still not played that, have you, James?
I have. I've played it and finished it ages ago.
Oh, you did play it.
Yeah.
What did you make of it?
I thought it was brilliant. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, really good. And then a new company, Joseph Fares, went off and made a new company called Hazelight, and their first game was A Way Out. You'll know Joseph Fares as the one that shouts "fuck the Oscars" and generally is very abrasive into interviews and stuff like that. You either like his style or you hate it. A Way Out came out a couple of years ago, and the idea behind it was a 2-player co-op game that you could play in split screen, and even when you're playing online, you're still in split screen. You can see what the other player's doing at the same time as what you're doing. It's as if they were sitting on the sofa next to you. A Way Out was a game about two people trying to break out of prison, and you had to do these little co-op things to break out, whether that's being back-to-back climbing up a lift shaft or chucking a key to each other's cells at the right time and stuff like that. It was a bit of a mess. It was fun to play. I think we all really enjoyed playing it. Well, I laughed my arse off while I was playing it, but there was so much wrong with it, from the tone of the game to the story to some of the mini games were just appalling. It was glitchy. I had visions of there's a scene where you play with a kid, you play basketball against an AI-controlled kid who, when the ball hit the floor, would suddenly warp to where the ball was and pick it up in the funniest way. Bit of a mess. It Takes Two, from the moment I saw the trailer, I was interested because, it was clear from the first trailer that it was a story about a couple who were breaking up that turn into dolls, and they have to go through an adventure in as miniature people, in like a Honey That I Shrunk the Kids, but he actually shrunk the adults. Honey, I Shrunk Us. That was the sequel, wasn't it? I think it was. It was that sort of story, and they had to do these challenges to sort of patch up their relationship or whatever. But most importantly, it just it moved away from that trying to be serious, gritty, and it didn't try to look good. The leap in quality between A Way Out and this is quite breathtaking, like quite unbelievable. You'd be hard. I wouldn't blame you if you thought this was a different studio completely. I just assumed that the budget has just been ramped up, because A Way Out was okay but janky as fuck. This feels solid, so solid, and it looks absolutely incredible in places, like truly breathtaking in places. We talk about the jump to next gen, and obviously it's very stylized. This isn't a Miles Morales type game where you're looking at reflections in the window just going, bloody hell, if I blink that looks like a photo, you know what I mean? It's not like that, But what it does do, you look at it and go, I don't know if this is possible on the last machines, which it is. I mean, I think the game is out on previous generation consoles. I just assume that they've toned down some of the effects and stuff. But wow, it looks incredible. The story, we'll start off with the story. The story is it's been highlighted as being dangerous in the Eurogamer review. I'm not so sure about that. I think some people could get personally offended by it. The problem put forward was that, people that are divorcing can get divorced, and the idea of floating that if you just work on it hard enough, you'll get through it. That's not a great message to put out. But at the end of the day, I don't think that's really what it's saying. I think it's very specific to these two characters and doesn't seem to be making a general point. I think my main problem with the story is that at this moment in time, I don't find the two leads that likeable, to be honest with you. There's a lot of... It feels like it's trying for Pixar and it's failing to get there. There are some long cutscenes where, what the cutscene is trying to get over to the gamer could be done in about 5 seconds and it drags it out for a minute. There's like, oh, well, what are we doing here? I don't know. And then they have a little bit of an argument and then it's like, and it's like, we get the point. You've made the point. Let's move on. So there definitely needed some editing with the cutscenes. That book
I've
that
heard,
you've all seen in the
bad
trailers?
things about this. That's the thing. I've heard mostly bad things about.
Who told you that?
Everybody
told you that?
I've read.
Best character in a game I've seen for ages.
Really? Okay.
Best character. Every time they're on screen, they make me laugh. And it's just a dickhead. He's a dickhead book, and he turns up, and he's loud and abrasive, and has an accent that I'm pretty sure is offensive. But for some reason,
I read that the accent keeps changing as well, like throughout. It's
possibly. I don't think it cares. I wouldn't be surprised if that was intentional. Do you know what I mean? The character it just pops out of nowhere, shouts his mouth off to everyone. It's just brilliant. It makes me laugh every time that book is on the screen. So, I think you can pick holes in it, but ultimately, I've got a big smile on my face every time that book shows up. So I've got time for that book. But if we go down to gameplay now, that's where it shines the most, right? So, A Way Out wasn't a great game. But what it did in terms of co-op and what it asked you to do in terms of co-op gameplay was pretty good. It's as if they've just... the amount of ideas in it already in the 2.5 hours that I've played has been quite incredible. And everything has been... No one's felt left out. And there's been times where I was like, I wish I had that instead of what I've been given to doing this. But then I have moments where I'm like, thank God, actually, that I've got this one, because I don't want to do that side of it. But not in a way of, I've got the better thing to do here, more in a, you can see the other player thinking the same thing, as you're thinking at the time. So neither of you really feel left out. There's sort of timing stuff, there's skill-based stuff. There's bits where even like when you're running along and doing a bit of platforming, you feel like you're kind of competing against each other, even though you're not. There's moments where it gives you the opportunity to completely fuck over your co-op partner. There's a bit in it, not to spoil anything, but there's a bit in it where someone gets trapped and you can either, press the off button of the trap, or you could play around with some buttons that completely destroy them in various different ways. And it's just fun. That instantly sparks up the conversation. It's like, just let me out now. And you're like, no, see what this button does. All that sort of stuff. And then there are the moments that you had in A Way Out where it was like, okay, you're playing a co-op game, but every now and then you're going to be competing against each other in this little mini game. And it's just, those moments just break everything up beautifully. I said this to you in a week. I can't wait for you two to stream this. I really can't wait for you two to stream this. I think it's going to be an incredible stream. You're going to have so much fun. And when it gets down to, like, say, the mini games where you're competing against each other, you're just going to have a whale of a time. I can't imagine you not
James
liking
and
this.
I had a lot of fun playing A Way Out.
We did,
James?
yeah. It was brilliant. It was very good.
A lot of people could say it's like a very average game, or had some good moments, but we had a blast. So can't wait for this.
I think you're going to love it, and I think the only negative I can say about it is that some of the cutscenes are a little bit long, especially when you're playing with a friend over the internet, because you're both sitting there, just going, I just want to play now, and you're trying to give me all this story, and the story's not really progressing anywhere, and it's not exactly entertaining, and it's a bit cheesy in places, and I think it aims for things that it doesn't achieve, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker. It's not. I'm not sitting there going, "Oh fuck this." You sort of just sit through it and then move on. Thankfully, the gameplay in between cutscenes is quite lengthy. So although you're sitting there for a minute, 2, maybe 3 minutes watching cutscenes, all of a sudden, bang, you're in a long stretch of gameplay, and the gameplay is very fun. So I can't wait to see where it goes, because all I've heard is that it just gets better and better and better. And some people have said that they started off not liking the main characters, and then slowly as the game progressed, they started to fall for them and really got into the story. So hopefully that goes that way for us. But it's so bizarre that this studio made both those games. Like, obviously it's money, that's been piled into this thing, but what a difference it's made, because it's gone for something that you can stumble through and get some enjoyment out of it, to what feels like a AAA proper, as if this was in development for, God knows how long, proper full-on backing from EA, which might have been the case, it might not, but it feels like that. And I'm absolutely blown away by it. I can't wait to play more of it, to be honest with you. I just want to see that book again.
Do you know how long the game is?
I was going to say, how long is it?
What's that? I've heard rumours. I've not looked it up, but I've heard anywhere between 8 and 15 hours.
Okay.
I heard like 15 to 20. I was like, wow, that's
Jesus.
Really?
So long old, but who knows?
That's the only problem. It's like, how long are we going to keep this up for? Because at the moment we're sort of playing we played it for 2 nights on the trot. We didn't play it last night. I want to play it tomorrow night, but like, how long are we going to keep that up for, where it holds both of our attention? Hopefully all the way to the end, but we'll see. But I mean, yeah, as I say, that stream series, Matt, I've been playing this game just thinking the boys are going to love this bit. The boys are going to love this bit. Oh, and this bit. You know what I mean? It's a selection of really cool moments so far, and then the moment you start to feel a little bit tired of what it's asking you to do, because obviously you get items as you go through the game. Like, for example, there's a nail gun and a hammer. So one of you's got the hammer, one of you's got like nails, and you can chuck the nails on things or fire the nails at things or whatever. And you go, okay, yeah, I'm enjoying this, and you're really asking me to do more and more unique things with this like combination. But like, where are you going to go from here? And I'll tell you where it goes from there. It drops them and gives you something new. And then builds it all up again based on the new items that you get. And apparently it does that all the way to the end. So I can't wait to see what else it gets us to do, because everything it's tried so far in terms of gameplay has just been spot on. Absolutely spot on.
This is what I read in reviews, was like, it just continuously comes up with new ideas, like in an almost like Nintendo way, like just new stuff all the time. And sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a friend that that will be into this, or likes co-op gaming or whatever, you absolutely have to get this, because it's like, what is it? It's 35 quid.
Oh,
you
mate,
can get it cheaper than that.
You can get it for like $17.85 or something on the Xbox.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous when you consider you only need one copy.
That's right. Yeah.
So one of you buys the game, and someone else buys what's called the Friends Pass, or you download the Friends Pass, which is free on the PlayStation and the Xbox store. Download the Friends Pass, you launch that, the person that bought the game can just invite you to their game, and you're away, you're playing it. It's just ridiculous value for money in that case, and you will have so much fun with it that I can't wait to watch people play it. I really can't. It's been one of those games where you play a section of it and then you watch some like walkthroughs of people playing it, just to see how they react to it, bits that they laugh at and all that sort of stuff. So well into it. And I mean, John made a very good point, and I know you're listening, John, and I'm sorry I'm going to repeat this on the podcast, but it was a fantastic point. He said the story is so like batshit and it's so wrong in so many places, and it stumbles over itself a bit. But the problem is, Joseph Fares, not only did he get A Way Out sold a lot of money, sold a lot of copies. Sorry, made him a lot of money. But this game has got critical acclaim as well. So what the fuck is he going to do next? What's the next step? Because this is already going pretty wild.
It's been amazing seeing all the reviews come out, and just everyone being like, I thought, people saying like, I thought Hitman 3 was Game of the Year, and then I thought Monster Hunter was Game of the Year. This might be actually it's been like so much praise. I think it might be in
contention if it keeps up with it.
Yeah.
And it's funny as well because when you initially start playing it, you think, oh, what this game is. It's a little bit of fantasy to turn the parents into these little dolls, but then it's going to keep things realistic, like toolboxes, and you're going through the shed and everything's set up like a shed should be, but the struggle is that you're very little in this world and stuff like that. And then it just throws all sorts of weird shit at you constantly. Talking book, all right, fine, but then squirrel army, okay, fine, that's fine. A sort of like weird section where you're floating on a neon fish, it's wild. It's very, very good, and I want to play a lot more of it.
Looking forward to it. And that was really looking forward to it.
That was It Takes Two. When are you starting that stream?
Friday night, I think will be if that's all right.
Friday at 9.
Yeah,
I am there. I've got to watch that. If not, I'll probably watch it in the morning. But I want to watch that. That's going to be fantastic. Cool. All right, and that's what we've been playing this week. What were we going to change that section of the show to?
I can't remember.
And how was that?
How was that? Yeah.
No, how is it?
How is it?
How was this?
Yeah.
Okay, we need to change that. Should we get to questions, Sean?
Yes. If you want to send us a question, go to tcgs.co/Dear TCGS in your favourite web browser. George Foreman says, what is your best egg? Fried, scrambled, poached, boiled, cream, Easter, or mini?
Mini eggs.
Mini.
Definitely, yeah.
Mini, 100%.
Mini eggs.
Fucking love a mini egg.
Scrambled egg.
I mean,
what's great is with a mini egg, you can either just pop one in your mouth and then suck it until it's all melted inside, and then
a whole ton of them.
Put a handful, ton in your mouth and just crunch away at them. There's no wrong way. There's no wrong way of doing it.
So good. They're so good, and they're ruining me
good.
at the moment.
They are legitimately dangerous.
It's bad, isn't it?
I mean, if
especially when you go to a shop and it's like, buy one pot for £1, or buy like 14 for like £1.50. You're like, I might as well get a.
Well, it's throwing money away if you just get one, isn't it? So
I still rather have scrambled egg.
I do love scrambled egg.
Scrambled egg's good.
No, fried egg. No, fried egg with a breakfast all day long.
Ah, no, scrambled.
Dip your bread in it.
Well, I like all eggs. Different eggs, different needs.
I like a poached egg, but fuck doing that myself. Jesus.
No, you can get little plastic things and bang in the microwave.
That's
in
cheating.
2 minutes.
Cheating. You got to do swirling the water around.
Well, or you can do it where you put it in tie cling film at the top. Anyway, whatever.
Here's a weird thing with my dad, right? Here's a weird thing with my dad. Yeah. So if we ever went to a restaurant, we had steak. I like peppercorn sauce on the steak. Mm-hmm. Fucking love a peppercorn sauce on a steak. My dad kicks off about that. Don't put sauce on a bleeding steak. What you doing, a bleeding steak? Yet whenever he orders a steak in a restaurant, he asks for a fried egg on it. No matter where we are, I want a fried egg on my steak.
Amazing.
What the fuck?
It's not gammon.
I thought you were going to say he wanted ketchup, like with it.
That's a gammon thing. I mean, I love both eggs and steak. I didn't realise I could combine the two in a restaurant.
No, and sometimes the restaurant people, you want what? Could you just put fried egg on it? A fried egg on your steak.
Plus, peppercorn sauce on a steak is a very widely known and accepted
classic
concept
thing.
Yeah,
and it tastes good.
Like Diane sauce, right?
Have we had this conversation? How do we all have our steak?
Oh, do you know what? I changed about 3 years ago.
Ooh, go on.
I used to go rare.
Yeah.
And then I just thought, actually, I'm not enjoying it that much rare. Why do I always go rare? So I went medium rare. That's why we didn't have that conversation, because it's boring.
No, it's just good to know there aren't any well done people lurking.
Well, James hasn't answered.
What are you then?
Medium rare.
Yeah, James not answered. Medium rare, yeah. James.
I like things burnt to a crisp, so I do like things well done. I
For
like
fuck's sake.
James.
You might as well have a burger.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like I like it.
Which you can, and I will not judge
do you
you
mean
for
exactly?
that. But don't waste a good steak.
We all have a burger.
Something died for that, you fuck. What, you a rare boy then, are you, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, medium rare. Although I'm starting to get rarer.
Really?
But yeah, it's just so much nicer.
You know, I try a blue steak yet.
No, not yet.
Is that bullshit, Sean, do you think?
What is it? What do you think? It's just people egging each other on, and there's no actual benefit to it. It's just like,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I have even more red. Oh, I'm gonna have even more red. Oh, I'm just not even gonna cook it. Fucking give it here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't honestly know. I'm not a massive steak connoisseur. The only time I used to have steak on a regular basis was where I used to live. My local was it Zzz's? No, it wasn't. It was, I can't remember. It was an Italian restaurant. Anyway, every January it was just like 50% off all
It
mains.
was Frankie and Benny's.
So yeah, it's fucking steak month, mate. It's like, guess what? The ribeye works out about £8, so bring it on.
Do you know what? Right, okay, I'll keep volume down. But when we have steak, home cooked steak, right? Whenever I go to like the butcher bit. Right, get just it costs a little bit more, but it's fucking worth it.
Yeah.
Right? Joe, sometimes you go, oh, we've got steak this week, and I open the fridge and I look at it, and it just says beef steak on the pack, and I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake. So yeah, avoid doing that.
Yep.
Well, we got into steaks. We were talking about eggs. Right, sorry about that.
It's all right.
Sorry,
That's fine.
George Foreman.
Yeah, listen, can I get a drink? Because I'm really thirsty. I've been desperately wanting to drink this whole episode. Can I just get a drink?
I mean, we've already got an edit point now, so you might
Well,
as well. Go for it.
No, you can go for it, James.
Yeah, it's
Enjoy
just
that drink.
It's right here. I mean, you don't have to stop it. I mean, I'm just getting a drink. That's it.
Well, you could have just not mentioned it.
Yeah, you could have just done it.
The thing is, right, is no, because the problem
This is
is...
the one time he doesn't put it on mute.
No, because that's the problem. I've got no mute, and that's why I couldn't go and get one. Otherwise,
Oh,
I would have just done that, but I've got no mute button at the moment. So
Enjoy editing out all of his farts.
there you go. No, it'll be good tonight.
That's okay.
I'm sort of tempted to just leave all this in.
Yeah, I'm keeping it.
Yeah, no, fine, leave it in.
I'm keeping this bit in. Yeah.
Why did we not talk about Matt farting on the show? Why did he get away with it?
Well,
Because I still
wasn't
don't
a
think he
fart.
did. I think that was a mouth
No,
noise.
that was just my voice.
Yeah.
It was a mouth
is
noise
worse.
that you made at the same time as making your noise with your mouth.
Yeah, because he was clearly straining. Well, to be fair,
Yeah, I was going like.
I was going to say it's clearly
what's the
straining, but then
saying
of course that could have
No.
an effect
What was the
elsewhere.
word I was saying again?
In the beginning.
Yeah.
And then just a little, little mouth drum.
You went in the beginning, and then when you got to the nut, I went sound in the background, and then you finished. And you went, oh, I did that with my mouth. I did that with my mouth.
It wasn't
You
a fart.
did.
Trust me, you would know
It was
about it.
definitely a fart.
You would know
all
about it, boy.
Next point, there'd be a weather warning, would there?
It'd be like,
All ships will be turning around like, oh fuck. Right,
Not in the
people
Suez
watching
Canal.
the news just
Hey!
going, oh, we need,
Sold now.
we need,
Sold.
I had to.
we need to
right,
cut to Downing Street. We've got a press meeting with Boris Johnson. I'm afraid everyone there has been a fart. You're all going to be in lockdown for the next 3 weeks. Yes, it was a Matt Murray fart.
More lockdown.
Sorry.
My wife is barely online, and I had the joy of just getting to tell her all about the Suez Canal stuff from start to finish. And the entire time, she was just like, "Mate, this is bullshit. You're clearly making this up." And I was like, "Here's the pictures. It's hilarious." It's the
You know when you fuck up at work.
Well, this
you
is
do
it.
that thing where you tense up and then maybe you put 2 fingers either side of your head and you push really close together and you're just like, oh God, this is awful. You imagine that on that ship, like behind the wheel. I assume it's got one of those big wheels with the handles on, right?
Yeah, probably.
That's how they work.
Yeah.
Yeah, just going.
He's done that, and then
Oh.
it's gone a bit wrong, isn't it?
This is the worst thing I could have done, isn't it? If I'd have gone a bit sideways in the sea, no problem. No
Yeah,
problem.
but then did you see what they did in the sea before it got stuck?
No, what did they do?
Drew a dick.
What?
If you look, yeah, but you can look this up. If you look at the route they took before they went into the canal, they drew a penis. I mean, obviously,
What? On
Well,
purpose?
intentionally.
well, this is it. We'll never know, right? But it fucking looks like a dick.
Sean, have you been
Is
reading
this-
14 times again?
Hold on.
This is on
Is
Snopes.com.
the internet era of people now growing up to a level where they're like running what I'm saying, are trolls entering the normal world now?
I mean, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They've been at it for a while, I think. Yeah, it's like, if you're playing a game and you got some downtime in a lobby or something, and you just start like prattling around. Maybe that's just what they were doing with the boat. So yeah, fuck it, let's do some donuts, let's draw a dick.
Cargo ship draws giant penis in Red Sea, then becomes what? It's true.
Yep.
How is this true?
100%. Again, obviously, we'll never know the intent. It might have just been, I don't know why that might have just happened.
Yeah.
But it's
Just see.
But it's a dick. Right.
Oh, that's incredible.
The next question.
Oh, that's incredible.
The next question comes from Michael Rowave.
That's
very good.
That is good.
Which is, what's your best kitchen appliance? Mine's a Morphy Richards 460300 slow cooker, 1.5 litres in black. I do love a slow cooker. Do love a slow cooker.
Yeah, slow cooking must be. It's got to be up there.
Yeah.
I'm
my
going
George
to have to
Foreman
say
grill.
my rice cooker because James bought it for me and he'd get offended if I don't. What was it? Yours is George Foreman?
It's a George Foreman grill. Yeah, it's brilliant.
What, the lean, mean grilling machine?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Whew. What are you cooking on that bad boy? Your steak? What, you got to leave it on there for an hour?
Nice bit of
Burnt
bacon, some sausages, that kind of thing. It's brilliant.
Yeah, nice.
Turn.
I got
Mine would I bought a waffle iron for Joe for Mother's Day. And that sounds bad. That sounds like a bad present. But the idea was that Joe's she loves waffles and ice cream, right? And she's been sad for the past year because we haven't been in a restaurant and she can. So I got her a waffle iron and learned how to make waffles. And my God, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah,
because
dangerous, isn't it?
Then you're thinking about waffles every night. And especially when the recipes are all like, here's how you make 40.
Yeah, exactly. You make the batter and then you're like, right, well, I've served everyone now and I've only used about a quarter of it, so that's going in the fridge for tomorrow.
No, you
or
don't even need
tonight.
to do that.
Who knows?
You don't even need to do that, Sean.
Yeah.
It's even easier than that. Just keep making them, then pop them in the freezer, then just pop them in the toaster. They taste literally just as good.
No, it's true, because then you can get a bit of that crispiness on the outer as well, can't you? Because sometimes they often come out of the waffle iron, they're still a bit sort of doughy.
Not mine, mate. Not mine. They're pristine. They're perfect.
I cannot wait
We've
for
even whacked a bit of cinnamon in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I didn't
mate.
say that
Yeah,
in the
mate,
red
bit
thing.
cinnamon, bit
Whacked
vanilla.
the
Cinnamon
cinnamon
yours,
in.
Dave. Waffles all day long.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And then we won't go
It's
to
good business.
EGX.
I got an air fryer last week.
Well, I've
yeah.
wanted one in for a while.
Eating oxygen now, are you?
Yeah, mate, just frying air.
Is that pretentious fuck?
Talking about your air
So all we've made
fryer.
in it so far is we did some garlic fries, and like they were pretty good. They weren't amazing, but my entire dinner was 240 calories, so fine. I'll take it.
Okay. That's not bad. I think you're going to say 240 quid.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say
Jesus,
that.
that is
It's an
expensive to run.
expensive one.
Bargain.
but
You have to
worth
keep
it.
filling it up with air. It's really pricey.
Right, Russell Hobbs.
What if you cough into it?
Russell.
Well, if you can't do it, just fries the cough.
That's what I'm thinking. When you
no.
fly into it.
Correct. Yeah, well, you want to take a test before you do that, Lid. Giving
Well, I
out
do every day.
Corona chips.
Yeah, man.
Fuck that. Subhuman scum.
Russell Hobbs says, Dear TCGS Commodore Amiga Owners Club, I feel like I have to write in after my gaming heritage has been besmirched time and time again over the last few episodes. First, James continuously slags off the great Commodore Amiga, and then Sean badmouths the ZX Spectrum. These two gaming platforms are the foundation of my gaming history. I've assumed for a long time that most people of a certain age owned either a Speccy or a C64, then an Amiga, during their formative gaming years, before moving on to Sega. Nintendo, in my experience, wasn't big in the UK until the SNES was released, and even then I knew more people with Mega Drives. Is this story familiar in your eyes? If not, I'm interested in what your individual gaming family trees look like. Mine being Spectrum, Amiga, Mega Drive, PS1, PS2, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Series X.
Let's do it. Should we do it?
Yeah, we can do this. I think I know
maybe-
it all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit boring for listeners because it's literally just a list.
of-
but
Why don't we just do the first couple of them, right? Rather than
Yeah,
all
I
of
think
them,
that's
'cause it's
probably more
ridiculous.
interesting.
Yeah.
Go on then, James.
My first thing that I ever had like that was a BBC Master. And
Nice.
that was the first thing I ever played games on, which wasn't very good. Played Defender and stuff like that. Then the first proper machine I had, though, was a Sega Master System. That was the one that I won in the Rice Krispies competition. And then...
Oh my god.
Don't explain that. Let's just move on. No, he's already told that
I
story.
thought James was going to say his first computer was the Enigma machine.
No.
Yeah, Pong.
Not that old. Yeah.
Um,
And then Mega Drive after that. And then... But I had a Mega Drive, but I always coveted a Super NES. I always wanted one of those. And it was... Yeah, eventually I did. That was it.
Cool.
Go on, Sean.
Yeah, so I went C64 and then Master System and then SNES and then PC.
Nice.
Which was fine.
That's pretty much the same as me, actually, yeah, because I went PC as
did
well
you have
after the Mega Drive.
Did you have the Master System 1 or 2?
I had 2. It was on the... Which...
See,
I don't know anyone that had a Master System 1.
well, I
did.
Master System 1 was...
Loser, with the volume thing on the volume
No,
slot
that was
on
the Mega
fucking
Drive.
console.
The Master System 1
that
had
was the
like
Mega Drive,
had
yeah,
the
that
card
was-
slot and all that kind of stuff, and the snail game built in.
No one used. It's a weird design, though, the Master System 1. All angular and odd. But yeah, but weirdly forgotten. It's as if that it didn't really exist until the Master System 2 came out. But yeah. Quite a rubbish console, though,
that
sadly.
Red thing, yeah.
Well, the Master System, it was all right.
Oh, wasn't.
Come on, there was a couple of good games on it. There's Wonder Boy 3, The Dragon's Trap. That was
Butter,
amazing.
butter.
That was a very good game. It had interesting versions of Sonic on those as well, because they weren't at all like the Mega Drive ones.
Yeah, because we had Sonic Chaos, because that was the first Master System one that had Tails in it. So, gotta get that. It's crap.
Playable Tales. He was in the others, but yeah, you couldn't play.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so mine was Atari 2600, Atari STE, and then I got
The Jaguar?
what was after? No,
Great console.
after the Atari STE, I think it was the
Lynx?
Game Gear. Then shortly after that, a Game Boy, where I corrected that mistake. And then it was. I skipped Master System and NES, but we did get I got a Mega Drive, and my brother was old enough to buy himself a SNES, so he did that. And then it was, what was after that? It was N64, right? So before getting an N64, I got into PC gaming for a little bit. And then once I bought the N64, I was like, thank God I don't have to play PC games anymore. And then ever since, it was, whatever consoles come out. I didn't have never had a PS1, but I did have a PS2. That was my main console for a while. But yeah, GameCube and then 360, PS3, all that stuff.
See,
you know the rest because that's when I started podcasting.
I did PC gaming up until about when Half-Life 2 came out, and it was at that point that I kind of jumped out at that point because it was just getting stupid. And I was like,
You played that and thought, this is shit, I'm not bothered anymore.
Well, no, I bought a new graphics card to play that game, and unfortunately, the graphics card that I bought, there was some weird bug specifically with that game.
Of course there was. Of course there was.
Yeah.
No, it used to stutter.
Has there been a machine
PCs
you've
are
owned
the
where it
best.
hasn't broken? Have you fucked up every machine you've ever owned, James?
Pretty much, yeah.
Did you know someone sent me a tweet the other day saying I've started listening to Dark Calls and James is complaining about his noisy 360.
It was very loud. Come on, all 360s were loud. They weren't quiet, those machines.
No, they weren't. No, they were not.
Yeah.
Mine was quite quiet.
Yeah, mine was lovely, yeah. Even when I was trying to kill it, it was quiet.
Okay, next.
I haven't answered my question, mate.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, yeah, but yours is just going to be... What was it? The PS3 you started with, wasn't it? Was your first console, wasn't it?
Fuck off. Wasn't yours the N64? And then
No, it was the Atari 2600, remember?
No, okay.
God, just said.
Commodore 64, obviously. Then
Whatever had
Master
Sega
System
around
2. You can't get that, sadly. Master System 2, Mega Drive 2.
That was a bad
And then,
redesign.
Saturn Dreamcast, PC around then, GameCube, and then, the rest is
so
history.
you didn't have a Nintendo console until the GameCube?
Yeah, I didn't have NES, SNES, or N64.
God damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
I mean, I played like N64 because my friend Derek Lai had one. But I didn't. And then, I got a GameCube when I was at university. And then Yeah, well, and
What'd you get
Animal
with that?
Crossing happened, and I failed my course. And my girlfriend.
When you got
left
your
me. But,
GameCube, what did you
it's
buy with
It's
it?
unrelated. That's unrelated.
Matt, when you bought your GameCube, what did you buy with it?
What did I buy? What games did I buy with it?
Yeah, like what did you get with it? What was your day one GameCube experience like?
I can't even remember.
Damn. Because that was shortly after I did that advert for Fridge. Remember?
Yeah.
I did a TV advert for Fridge.
Got that Star Wars Rogue Squadron.
It was Rogue
Oh
Leader.
yeah. That was it. That was
Rogue
yeah.
Leader. Sorry, I got that.
Yeah.
Whatever, something else probably.
Yeah, so I did I mean, I've mentioned it on the show before, but I was on a TV advert for Fridge. It was like a Fridge sponsors Eliminate, which was a Kerry Katona TV dating show that lasted about a week. But I did this one advert. It took me 2 hours to film. They gave me £1,000. So I went to Game the next day and I bought a GameCube plus 4 pads plus a copy of Monkey Ball. And like the dude behind the counter just went, "You're going to have an incredible few days." I was like, "Yeah, I know. Yeah, all my mates are coming over. We're going to play Monkey Ball for like 3 days straight." It was
See, I had the
that was a
opposite
good
experience with buying the GameCube because I could only afford to buy the machine and no games, and because it was I know it's ridiculous. I bought the machine because I really wanted to buy
Mummy and
one.
Daddy cut you off, did they?
I'm not going to tell this story.
Sorry, no, go on.
Fuck off, David.
Go on.
No, I could only
There's a little
only
joke.
afford to buy the machine, and I couldn't buy it. So I remember just like hooking it up and just watching the title screen for the first day of ownership, and then eventually
Hold on, how long did you have to wait before you played a game on it?
about 2 days, and then my ex-girlfriend
that's not
she
bad.
took pity on me, and we went and bought a game. She lent me the money because I had no cash.
What was the game?
We bought Monkey Ball. Play that.
And
Yeah, of
how
course,
soon
classic.
was it after that she left you?
A couple of years after
Oh,
that.
okay. Oh,
But
fair
yeah,
enough.
it wasn't immediate. Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah, I'm
immediate.
looking. Yeah, I got Monkey Ball and Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader.
You all got the right one though, right? You all got the purple one.
Yeah, purple.
No,
Leader.
I-
I fucked up. I got the
Why?
Metroid one. Metroid Prime one. It was black.
Oh dear! Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oof.
Well, I was a bit of a goth back then, wasn't I? So
The purple one was just so good looking. I went in there thinking, I get the purple one. That's like the kids one. I'm getting the black one. And then I saw the purple one. I was like, I need that
Yep.
one. I
Yep.
need that one.
I had the purple
Yeah.
Game Boy Color, and that looked very good. Actually, it was very nice.
I mean,
I had
the real
I had the see-through purple one, boy. Don't forget about that.
the real pro move with the GameCube was the Spice Orange, though, right?
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, but it didn't look
Was
as
that
nice
even
as
out
the
over
purple one.
here?
Actually, no. Yeah, I think it was the controller was, but the console wasn't. Is that right?
Yeah, the console you couldn't get it. Yeah.
Why did games consoles like suddenly go through a phase of being clear?
Yeah,
The
that was,
they always
that was,
shit
like,
like
that was a mid to late
PCs
90s
done it.
thing, wasn't it? I had a
Max did it,
clear
yeah.
Game Boy at one point because I signed up
I
for
had
a
a clear
Halifax
Xbox.
Kids bank account. There you
Oh
go.
yeah, nice. I had a clear Xbox, and
Yeah,
it was
same.
just what's the point? It's just a silver shell,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
inches
Some
away
of the
from
box
the
inside
plastic.
of the box. This isn't really.
Exactly. I thought, oh, you might be able to see all the fucking chips and that. You couldn't.
You see, like the electricity,
couldn't.
like zapping round it. Nope. Nope.
Master Chief just like running along the circuit board.
See it loading all the levels in. Damien Dolce Gusto says, how did we get from traditional consoles with discs to discless consoles without anyone entertaining the idea of a PlayStation with an internal disc changer like my fancy hi-fi in 1998?
Because it would have been daft.
Wouldn't that be an excellent in an age where hard copy games could save you a fortune? It would have been hilarious,
Yes,
to be fair.
absolutely.
That would have been brilliant.
Absolutely.
It would have
I
been
can't believe they
totally
didn't do that.
pointless. Like, why would you do that? Why?
Not pointless at all. You wouldn't have to get
To
up
save
quite as
time.
much.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Can you imagine
I can't
how?
believe they
But
didn't
think
try
about
to
it.
tell us one of
How
them.
massive would the console have had to have been to do that?
About
Have
the
you
size of the
seen
PS5.
the PlayStation 5
Exactly.
games?
Yeah. Okay,
I wonder
good
how
idea.
quick.
I don't know how
obviously,
they
you know, back in the day, because they weren't exactly lightning quick at finding the next CD, were they? But if you made one of them now,
They weren't too bad.
wouldn't they just be like they'd be fucking rapid?
When you're in a car, but they probably you had to put the thing under like the fucking boot, didn't you?
yeah, it's a whole other
That was the
box.
thing.
Right,
All right.
Tom S. Oh, this is a good one. Tom S says, I'm pleased to announce that your third most loyal Full Nels member, Tom S, became a dad for the first time when my daughter was born in Beijing on Saturday, 20th of March. My partner, Katie S, took charge of packing the hospital bag, so I was surprised to find that my computer game show T-shirt, as bought for me by brother and fellow listener James S, had made the cut of appropriate hospital wear. This surprised me because, if I'm being completely honest, this T-shirt had not ever been promoted out of T-shirt that I'll consider wearing in bed. But I thought you'd like to know that it ended up being part of some very special moments. I'll send you one photo of in Discord, because I guess that's what proud dads do. And yeah, he has sent us a lovely photo.
That's brilliant.
Of wielding his child whilst wearing a TCGS T-shirt.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Hey, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, well, congratulations, man, and good luck.
Yeah. Well, he's got some questions for us. So he says, first up, dad question. I vaguely remember David giving recommendation of the Tommy Tippy nighttime bottle thing. Any other recommendations, tips, or advice?
Tommy Tippy is definitely the way to go. They were very useful. I mean, when the kid gets older, obviously. But
You talk about the perfect prep machine.
Either way, the perfect prep machine. I mean, either way, like obviously, if you're committing to breastfeeding, like there's plenty of benefits. But if you are having a hard time with it, don't feel bad about being in it. I mean, I don't know. In the UK, they really push it, and they kind of make you feel like shit if you're struggling to breastfeed, or if that was our experience anyway. And like we had one of the what are they called, the feeding staff. I can't remember what the proper title is. Anyway, one of them came round and we sort of said, oh yeah, we've got the Tommy Tipping machine, and she was like, throw it out, get rid of it. Like, give your kids allergies, and no, it's all bullshit. So yeah, like, do what you want, but just don't feel bad if you are struggling with breastfeeding. I think it's just a big thing.
Also, be comfortable with not being in the same room as your wife and or girlfriend or partner for long periods of time. That's fine. It's much more important that you catch up on sleep. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing. Don't keep tabs on how often the other one's going to sleep compared to you, because that's just going to lead to massive arguments. Yeah. Just say, look, let's not get angry with each other if we need to go to sleep. Otherwise, one of us is going to walk out at some point in a fit of rage, which happened to me a couple of times. There's a bench on the A217 that I used to sit on when I got so angry I had to leave the flat when Harry was born. So yeah, I mean, you're going to go through a lot of stuff, and you're going to find out more about your partner than you ever thought you would, because you both get put to your limits. But just remember always that this is it's an amazing stage because you have some really, really nice moments, but it's also a horrific stage, and it will get easier. It will get easier.
I mean, just take up smoking is one way.
No, James, no.
I'm joking.
Brilliant. Thanks, James.
That's legitimately what James did, by the way.
I mean, I'm confident. I've said this on the show before, but especially through you guys, having it normalized, talking about how hard it is at first is huge, because so many parents think they have to just pretend that it's fucking magical. No, we've got this lovely baby and we love it more than anything. And you do, and you will, and you do, but also it's absolutely horrific at times, and it pushes you harder than anything else ever will. So it's okay to acknowledge that, and it's not ungrateful, and doesn't mean you don't love the kid. It's just fucking hard.
Yeah. This sums it up for me, and I think, try and avoid social media, or if you are on social media and you're seeing pictures of friends with kids and stuff, don't think that what you're seeing is what's happening. Because I'll never forget when we did the baby shower show for Sean. We were all around the flat, and we were having quite a heart-to-heart about, becoming a dad. Sean was becoming a dad, and we were talking about it and stuff. And Sean pointed at a photo of Matt, his wife, and Elodie at some BBC CBeebies thing, because it was in the night garden, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and
in the night garden.
You pointed at that photo, and you said to me, "That's what I want. That's what I want." See that picture there? That is why I want to be a dad. You look at it, it's perfect. I went, yeah, it looks really good, doesn't it? I said, Matt, do you remember when this was taken? Because he wasn't there, he was the other side of the room. He went, oh, yeah, that. I said, what was that day like? It was a fucking nightmare. It was awful. She screamed the whole way round, blah, blah, blah. And I just went, don't look at photos and think that's reality because it fucking ain't.
Yep.
So you're not doing anything wrong if it's not going like that for you.
I was just looking back at some pictures of like Asher when he was a kid, like when he was much, much younger, and like where we'd gone to like parks together and everything. And I just remember being mostly stressed like all the time. But the pictures look nice. And you're just thinking this is like, you know.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah, we watched some old videos of Harry in his first year and just thinking, oh, wasn't it great? And then we had to slap ourselves out of it and go, nope. Do you remember me on the A217? Remember that?
And like, obviously, it is worth it. Like, obviously, it's worth it, and it gets better like every day. Isaac started doing stand-up pissing, which he literally like because he just got out of the bath and I needed a wee. And he like so he's still potty training and he's still it's about a sort of 80% success rate. And then she went, "Oh, I need a wee too," and just ran over to the toilet and just started pissing in the toilet with me. And it was the best thing that's ever happened to me. Yeah. Like it was just so funny.
There's nothing weirder than the first time when you walk past a toilet and the door's wide open and a kid's standing up pissing with his trousers around his ankles and looks back behind you and goes, all right. You're just like, what the fuck is happening? And what I said is, Charlie is quite an early talker, especially compared to Harry. Harry didn't talk until he was long past 2 years of age. We had to go and get hearing tests and all sorts of stuff, and you'd never know it now. But, it was a real concern for us at the time. But Charlie's been talking since he was like 1. Like, he says things. But the stuff he says in context, like, I was in the kitchen over the weekend and I was doing the washing up or doing cleaning something, and Harry came in and he'd just opened a pack of Premier League stickers and he went, "Dad, I've got a gold shiny Kevin De Bruyne." And then from the other room I heard Charlie shout, "Oh, good for you." And I was floored for about half an hour. So yeah, there are good times, but good luck, man. Good luck.
Definitely.
He's also got a gaming question. He says, "I can't help but feel impatient for all of the gaming milestones we'll get to share in the future. Can you share with me some of your favourite firsts for gaming with your kids and how long I might have to wait to get to them?"
Oh, man.
It'll be a while, I'll tell you that now.
It will.
Yeah, so Harry started playing games properly when he was 3. Mm-hmm. So that was, he would pick up a pad and waggle the stick about, but he would actually try and play a game from the age of 3. I think my proudest moment so far was him beating that final boss in Astro's Playroom.
Oh,
He was 6. He was 6. But it was quite tricky, I think. I think it was quite tricky
for
a 6-year-old.
This is the one with the dinosaur, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. That's it's not easy, that.
And it took him about 5 or 6 attempts. But watching him, whereas before he would cry and turn it off if he got stuck somewhere, or he'd just turn it off and play something else, and clearly he'd be pissed off with it. With this one, he was just, "I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it." And it was about his 6th attempt. He'd done it. And it was just like, you could just see he was absolutely made up with himself. He absolutely loved it. So that was probably my favourite. Or, him playing FIFA is always quite funny. I don't know why I like that, but it's quite funny just sitting watching him play FIFA.
You see, like Isaac's thing at the moment is he wants to like play everything, but then he'll literally do like 3 seconds and just be like, "Oh, I can't do it, you do it." I was like, "Mate, it's fine that you can't do it. Just fuck around, just try it." Like, it doesn't.
He's still quite young though, right? What is he, 4, 3?
3. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, very, very young then. Yeah. But that'll change.
Yeah. Like he's interested, and obviously that's plenty at this point. I think in terms of like the first time, like he seemed to be engaging with something, and it was just like an amazing experience. Was probably Sayonara Wild Hearts. Like he just fucking like I obviously he probably just thought it was a music video. Probably barely registered that it was a game. But just playing that and just like the volume turned all the way up and he was just fucking like dancing around, shouting his head off. It was just so funny. It's probably the only reason I put that in the Game of the Year list, to be honest. But it's great.
I think my favourite. I mean, for Rachel, it was definitely playing like Mario 3D World. That was the first time she really got into like playing something, and she absolutely loved that. I think the I don't want to say proudest, but actually I'm kind of proud of like Asher finishing like Breath of the Wild. Like that.
God,
yeah, I mean that's
I
an
was
achievement.
really shocked that he did that because I thought it's not a very, very easy game, and I was quite surprised that he managed to get through the whole thing. And I was really proud when he finished it as well. I thought this is
because that's a game that's because it's so open. Like you hear like so many horror stories of like kids trying to play that, and because obviously they're so unfocused and whatever, they just piss away all the arrows and stuff, and they just like they can't manage an inventory or any of that shit. Like it's a lot to take on board. So yeah, to be able to do that at his age is really good.
Yeah, I was well impressed, and I mean he played it because he saw the reason he played it is because he saw the trailer for the sequel. I was like, I want to play that, and I was like, well, you should play this one first. And then he was like, I said I'll buy it for you if you finish the first game, and I thought he'd never going to do that, so it'll be fine, and he did, and so yeah, never mind.
Cool.
Bloody kids. Yeah, but I mean, Elodie wasn't really bothered about games, but Animal Crossing was the first one she probably got into, and that was amazing to see. I mean, she plays loads of games on her tablet anyway, but Animal Crossing was the first proper console game, and now we've been playing The Sims together.
Oh, yeah.
She watches that on like YouTube with some people, YouTubers she likes watching. So now we'll start playing The Sims as well together, which she loves because it's all doing up houses and obsessed with like pregnant people. So I downloaded some like pregnant family like save files and stuff.
Downloaded a pregnant family. The Sims is just a world that I do not know about. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Dirk Magimix says, dear TCGS, I've been playing Monster Hunter Rise and having a great time with it. As someone who didn't play World, I'm really enjoying all the new features they've added to streamline the experience. One in particular is the ability to capture local wildlife and put it to use as a single-use attack or support item to aid you in the business of hunting monsters. So in the spirit of this, my question is thus. If you could capture a local animal and put it to use as a tool to help you with your daily business, what would it be and how would it help you? Personally, I'd weaponize a chaffinch and use it to get revenge on all those who have wronged me. Bye.
See, does it have to be a local animal? Because
that's
I get one from the zoo?
Local animal. I'm thinking, well, what's out
on London Zoo, yeah.
Because I want
giraffe.
I go for I want a massive gorilla. Because I like it just there to smash stuff up. I think it'd be fun.
Okay, not even people, just inanimate
smash
objects.
Stuff up.
Yeah.
James, what do you have that it could smash up?
So again?
What do you have that it could smash up?
I don't know.
Broken PS5, broken Xbox.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
I was going to say, isn't Chen going to be livid after the first day? Like, well, you've got the gorilla now, and the house is in
Yeah, because I'll just say to you, have you got anything you want smashing? Because he's up for that.
She'll say no.
He's free. He's
he's got an hour. He's got an hour free if you want him to smash something.
I'm going to head down to a junkyard.
Mine would be a giraffe. Just walking down Sutton High Street with a giraffe while it tuts at everything, looks at everything like shit. Love that.
But is that your daily business?
Yeah. What of it?
Okay, no,
well, not these days because of COVID, but my daily business would just be me sitting at my desk in my front room. It's not exactly the most exciting life to have a giraffe with.
Hang on, Dave, which floor are you on?
First floor, so it'd be perfect.
Yeah, he could
just open the window,
put his head through
leaves.
the thing, innit? Put his head through the window, have a look, see what you're up to.
And just shake its head at me and just go, I don't give a fuck about you, mate. And I'll go, that's why I love you so much. That's what'll happen. But a local animal, I don't know, fucking fox, that's all we got around here.
I think all we've got is foxes.
They're horrible.
They fucking stink, man. Oh, God, yeah, and the noises they do when they're shagging.
Don't get me wrong, we're not pro fox hunting.
Oh, no, absolutely.
But at the same time, they need to shut the fuck up a bit because we're trying to defend your mate.
Oh, do you know what?
Do you know what I mean?
I couldn't do it because I've got a child to look after, but I've started following a local hunt saboteur group on Twitter. Fucking hell, that's fucking tempting.
That's a stream.
Just ruin the day of some posh pricks. Brilliant. But there's also
going to say you've joined the Real Countryside Alliance or something like that.
Yeah, but it is like being in a pub where your mate's being a total prick, but you got to defend them because they're your mate. Like they're about to get into a fight, and you're like, "Whoa, don't hit him! Look!" But he's still being a prick. You're like, "Mate, just leave it out." That's like defending foxes. It's like, no, don't kill them. But they're really annoying in everyone's life. Yeah. I know, but just there's a side to them that you don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Look, I don't like them either, but they don't deserve to be torn apart by dogs while alive for the entertainment of
posh people on horses.
wankers. Yeah,
People in those stupid fucking coats. Why doesn't anyone say that? You know when the fox hunting saboteurs or whatever. Why don't they just go up to them and go, "Look at you! What you got that little hat on for? And the big red coat. You look like a div." You know what I mean? And maybe they'll look down and go, "Oh yeah, do a bit. Look at those boots for fuck."
so what you're saying is to sabotage a hunt. What you need to do is take them by the self-esteem. You need to.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need to challenge
Make
them
them feel really bad about
sartorially.
themselves, because of the clothes they're wearing.
Yeah.
Matt.
Probably penguin.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let's good local animal there for that.
There's a zoo down the road.
Yeah, I know. Why a penguin?
Nice.
You
isn't
just
it?
slide down on
Little
its
things.
back in the snoo.
That sort of
And
things. I'll probably throw some fish. They'll catch it. I'll say,
that?
Kane, fuck off now. I've got work to do.
The one day every 2 years it snows, everyone will be going down in their sleds down the local park down the hill, and Matt will be on the back of a penguin.
Exactly.
Scooting around.
Absolutely balling.
Love that. Thing is, though, I mean, you say it'd have to fuck off when you got to do some work, but surely the point is we need animals that can assist us with our work. Any animals good at note taking or just helping me stick to a schedule?
I'll probably just teach it to turn on the toasty maker
Oh yeah, good shout.
and deliver little cheese and Marmite toasties upstairs in its little head.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, but what if you get a shit penguin like Pingu? What if you're sitting down for your lunch and you're just going, and you're just like, oh, for fuck's
I'll
sake,
be
I should
I'll
have
send
picked
it back.
something else.
I'll keep the receipt so that this one's shit.
Yeah. Want
This one is
a penguin that
did
works
you get a
properly,
Pingu one?
please.
Yeah, I got a Pingu one.
I can't work my Breville.
Oh, I fucking love Pingu.
Pingu for sale. Like new, just getting rid of it. Because I need to move. Facebook Marketplace. Go on, sorry.
Maria Mendieta says, "Dear TCGS code."
No, not Facebook Marketplace. Because I have those messages saying, is this still available?
Oh my god, that is the
Still
fucking
available.
worst, isn't
How
it?
about tenner? Tenner, is this still available? Tenner?
Lol, you can get this from a local shop for the same price. Why would
It's
I buy this?
£75 or nothing.
Fuck off, Sharon. You're always doing this to me.
Is it still available?
Right.
It's so annoying though, because you see it, it's like, I'm selling this for 20 quid. I will give you £4. It's just,
Go away.
fuck
Look, the
off.
worst thing is because you get a ton of messages immediately. You just then look at the list and it's just like, well, who do I like the look of out of these people? Who looks like they'll be all right if they're going to come in to my house and look at the telly that I'm trying to sell?
Yeah. And they
You never
will
take him
ask you
into your
questions
house.
and
Always
try and
been
get
the
money
Going
off
to be
on the door.
casing the joint,
Yeah,
as they walk.
exactly.
Did you go through a phase of coming home from work or something and walking into the front door and your other half giving you an address and saying, go to this address, you need to buy these baby clothes for £2 or whatever?
No, absolutely not.
And then you drive over there, you knock on the door, and a very tired looking dad opens the door, he's furious with the transaction as well, hands you a bag, you give him the £2, you fuck off as quick as you can. It's the 10 to 20 times I had to do that.
Fucking hell.
It was infuriating.
Yeah, but
Yep,
Maria
go on.
Mendieta says, "Dear TCGS cozies, while making video games involves arduous desk-based work, I recently read about the physical demands of updating Demon Souls for the PS5. The seasoned motion capture performer spoke about how tricky it was to adjust to the title's pose-heavy action. If you were hired to do the mocap for any video game character of your choosing, which one would you feel comfortable embodying? Don't worry, James, shorts are not part of standard mocap gear."
Easy.
Yeah.
You know the dude in the underpants that's dancing in Yakuza 0?
Oh, yeah.
That one. I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that easy.
Yeah.
I'd be brilliant
No
at
bother.
that. I know I would, for sure.
My specialism would just be dead bodies. So I'm like, I can easily just lie down on the ground in various poses.
I don't think I need
I was going to
mocap
say,
for
I
that.
don't think that's
Think you're right.
necessary.
Well,
No.
I'll still specialise in it.
Are there
Okay.
any characters
Well,
that
you're a
like sit
pioneer.
down
You'll
a
be the
lot?
first one.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. It's always good to specialise.
Would they have to... Oh, no, I'm not going to say that. No, go on. That was too... I was low-hanging fruit there. I didn't need to.
Okay.
Go on, go-
Okay.
go on. I actually had a conscience for the first time ever. It finally
He's
happened.
growing.
I thought
He's 30,
I'm growing up.
36? 35?
I don't know,
You don't know.
something like that. 36, I think.
Okay. I mean, I'm
Okay.
so I'm 36 when this episode goes out. That's weird, isn't it?
What do you mean? Oh, when's your birthday?
It's on Wednesday.
Huh?
Oh, right, okay. Well, everyone wish Sean a happy birthday.
Yeah.
And then
please.
say, and then wish James a happy birthday because that'll wind him up. Oh, is it James's birthday too? Oh,
Yeah.
that's weird.
What a coincidence. I can't. Why were we
Rubbish
talking
last
about
year.
ages? I can't even remember. I don't know who I'd do the motion capture for. Fucking what's his name from Fahrenheit? The main character.
David Cage.
No. David,
You're going to do the
Cage.
intro.
David Cage famously does all his own mocap. David, he doesn't need anyone else.
You could do it, Sean. You could nail that.
Cheers.
Why the main character?
He's just a boring weirdo, isn't he?
Is it because there's a sex
That's
scene,
true.
Sean?
Yeah, I'd nail that. I'd be great at that.
That's why.
So
Sure
if
you
you've seen the sex cutscene from Fahrenheit, that's exactly how I do it. It's actually based off. Yeah.
Just
Don't 'cause you
hammering
get me hot.
square.
James?
I don't know. Who sits down a lot? Is there anyone who...
Smo. Would it be Smo, you reckon?
Who?
Smo.
As in
Smoke.
Ornstein
from
and...
Ornstein and Smoke, yeah.
Just
bit
walking
harsh.
around with your big hammer.
Yeah, I'd be alright. Go on, do
Why?
that. Yeah.
Why is that harsh?
He's a big
'cause-
lad.
Yeah. I don't think
Yeah,
I don't
but-
think they're a lad. Isn't Smo a woman? I made that up.
No, it's penis, isn't it?
What?
It's got a penis.
This didn't come up in
Oh,
the
can we just get on with it? Next one.
Yeah, okay. You remember I've got to give this prize away, so maybe this should be the last one, if there's another one.
Oh, there's more. There's more, baby.
There's
Okay, maybe this should be the last one
Rafi,
then,
I'm so
'cause-
sorry. I can't read yours out. It's fucking massive. Oh, this is quite a nice one to end on. Tony Teapot says after about 6 years. Sorry, about 6 years after everyone else, I've just completed Dark Souls. It was amazing. I've been hoovering up any lore I can get my hands on. Really enjoyed 2 podcasts, one Fireside Chat and Dark Calls. One is rich with explanation, meticulous detail and insight. The other is
Thank
about
you.
someone who can't work out how to kick. My question is...
Oh, come on. No, Bonfire Side Chat is better than that. Don't slag it off. It's good.
My question is, can you recommend any podcast series which focuses on one game or series?
Oh, Jesus, no.
You're not?
No, I cannot.
Is there not?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
No, go on.
I would avoid podcasts like that. Really, I don't know. I can't really think of anyone that I would do with that.
Yeah, I've never listened to one other than Bonfire Side Chat, which would be my answer. I've not listened to a podcast series based around one game.
Oh, fair enough.
When I was massively into Destiny 1, I listened to, was that Guardian Radio?
Oh, yeah.
Or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
That was like a Destiny show, and when I was massively into it, that was great every week. I'm talking about the meta and new things, and yeah, it was brilliant. But
Fair enough.
it's been a long old time since I listened to a show about one game.
One that is soon to be quite relevant again, Savoir Faire, a Disco Elysium podcast, is incredibly good. Lots of just really excellent analysis of like every fucking bit of the game. Although weirdly, they can't pronounce half the names and didn't think to look any of them up prior to recording. And there's every time a new name gets mentioned, they'll be like, "Oh, is it this? Do you say it like this? Oh, I don't know. I say it like this. Okay. Oh, it's probably wrong, but we'll just carry it." It's like, just look it up. Just look it up, guys. Like, if you're going to do a whole series based on one game, look up how to say the main characters' names. But yeah, other than that, it's brilliant.
Cool.
And that's it. I mean, it's not
Cool.
it, but
Matt.
obviously you've been going on for a while. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to do your giveaway now?
Oh, yeah. What's this about?
No, do your socials first, and then I'll do the giveaway.
Okay, this Thursday, Sean is still streaming.
I don't know. Thursday nights are just not working. There is one more game I really want to stream. Later Alligator, because it looks really good. So yeah, let's say yes and see what happens on Thursday. Last week, I decided not to because I realised that Nu was working late on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if I streamed on Thursday, it was just like, right, well, I'll see you on Monday then, mate. So yeah, so I decided to bin it. But yeah, I'll commit. Let's do Thursday night. It's going to be fine.
So that's Thursday night at 9. Sean streaming, was it Alligator?
Later Alligator.
Nice. That's Thursday at 9 and Friday at 9, James? Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
James is streaming It Takes Two, and I'm joining him for the ride. So I can't wait for that. That's Friday at 9. They're both on twitch.tv/TCGSco. Dave, you're not streaming, are you, David?
No idea. I might sneaker. I might sneak in another Fall Guys in because that was really
Have
fun.
you stopped
Season
Perfect
4?
Dark now?
No, I will get back to it.
Good.
The problem is if I commit to Saturday. I mean, remember it is a bank holiday weekend, and also we're allowed in people's gardens. So I don't intend to be very sober.
And also, Perfect Dark Zero is fucking shite. Like,
yeah,
let's not forget
I
that.
will go back to it though.
Factor.
It's still on the hard drive. It's still on that. No, it's still on the SSD. Yeah,
Blimey.
good.
Okay, well,
VIP
forget
treatment.
Saturday, but both Sean's and James's and myself, our streams are all on twitch.tv/TCGSco. If you're Amazon Prime, you're Twitch Prime Gaming, and with that, get one free sub every single month. We'd love it if you went over to our channel, gave us that sub, because we really appreciate it. It's lovely, isn't it? If you miss them streams live, go to YouTube, search for TCGS, and you'll see VODs of the streams. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/TCGS to get exclusive podcasts, watch live talks overs, all that usual stuff, and just support what we do over here. And tcgs.co is the website where there's links to our socials and our Discord and loads of other stuff besides that.
Cool. Right. Well, yeah. Sorry, it's been a long run this week. I bet James is absolutely shattered. But I've got something to give away for our listeners, and the prize is. Let me just look it up.
10 PS5s.
No, it's a 7-day Xbox Game Pass Ultimate token that you can redeem. And the way we're going to do it, right, is the first one to enter this code gets the 7 days. So get yourself a pen.
I can just go
And
to
here
the
we
site
go.
now, Dave, and I'll just type it in.
Yeah, well, one of us might as well just...
We've already got it, haven't we? Right,
yeah, but I
okay.
could always use another 7 days, you know what I mean?
Right, okay, don't do it. Right, this is for the listeners. Ready? 4. C.
Oh, we're going to be here all night.
How was I going to say, how
A little
slow
bit
do you
quicker
think
than this,
people
David.
write?
A little bit quicker than this.
6. D.
No, Dave, I think you need to start again because we might have talked over one of the letters.
Sorry, mate. 4. C. V. 6.
Like a number station.
Why are you doing this?
D.
It's like
It's like
12
nothing in Lost,
characters.
isn't it?
Shh. 7. K. 9 3
You're speeding up.
M. R.
What?
H. C.
What's happening?
Why are we doing this?
H. Sh. F. K.
Oh my god.
7. 3.
Oh god.
C.
Do you know what time it is? Just it's ridiculous.
What time is it?
Late.
Do little bit.
R.
Would you have to start again?
R. 6. G.
This is the worst thing you've ever done, David.
Why are you doing this?
6. Z. That code again
No, you're not reading it again.
No.
If you weren't sure, rewind and listen again.
We'll catch you next week. We hope you have a lovely week. Thanks for living it. See you later, everyone.
B
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Y
Absurd.
C